Defensively for them today, out in left, Huntingford, Palkin, center, Quintana in right, Alfonso at third, Miller at shortstop, Burgos at second, and Pujol at first. Peter Kocur is on the mound, and Al Corbeil will be behind the plate for the FIU Panthers in the ball game this afternoon. Out on the hill, you see Peter Kocur, who was taking his final warm-up tosses as he gets ready to go into this ball game. A record of 4-2 this year, 4.55 his earned run average, 41 strikeouts, and 27 walks. He has worked 55 in the third innings. Let's take a look at the starting lineups and the batting lineup for the USA Jaguars. Leading off will be Cameron Likely, the center fielder. He'll be followed by Scott Callahan, the second baseman. Brian Groom, the left fielder, will bat third. Tim Merritt, the shortstop, will hit fourth and cleanup. Tony Picotti, the first baseman, hits fifth. Kyle Stanky, the designated hitter, of course, hitting sixth. Jason Gross hitting seventh. He'll be behind the plate. Out in right field, Brentley Griffin hitting eighth, and Brett Parker, the third baseman, will hit ninth. And Todd, we're about ready to go again.
Tell you what, going to be interesting to see how these two play out. Of course, they played during the season 3 times, and Florida International took 2 out of the 3 games during the course of the regular year. But this one on the line for the Sun Belt Conference Championship, and for South Alabama, a team who's struggled throughout the year. What a nice way it would be to end up the season with a win here today and a trip to the NCAA tournament.
You know, South Alabama's got great tradition in baseball as we go to play with the first pitch of the ball game to Cameron Likely from Peter Kocur, and it's in there for strike one. South Alabama has gone to the NC2A playoffs 9 of 10 years during the 90s, so a little bit of a down year this year as Likely rips it out into left field for a leadoff single.
Well, just like in the first game, we saw Barry Paulk lead off with a double to right for Florida International. Likely leads off with a single here in the first, and he just poked a good pitch. Fastball right down the heart and out in the left field, and the Jaguars with their table setter on base.
Likely the second leading hitter on the team with a .327 batting average, and that'll bring up Scott Callahan. Callahan, the second baseman for South Alabama, left-handed batter. Stands slightly open in the box as Kocur goes to work with a fastball and misses high and away to him for ball one. So Florida International now playing in their 5th ball game of the tournament. Of course, lost yesterday to Louisiana Lafayette 14-4, and then came back in a ball game that finished about 30 minutes ago to defeat the Ragin' Cajuns and eliminate them from the Sun Belt Conference Championship play 9-2. On Willie Colazzo's masterful ball game. He went 9 innings and struck out 10 in the ball game.
That tied the season high for a Florida International pitcher, and well, he really stymied the Louisiana hitters with a lot of junk pitches.
Tell you what, South Alabama has been the team in the tournament, though. They have breezed right through as they won their first ball game over the University of Arkansas Little Rock Trojans 8-0, and then defeated UNO, the regular season champions, in back-to-back games 2-1 and 8-5. And there goes Likely, and the throw is going to be backed up out there. Nice job by Burgos backing up on the play. And Cameron Likely will pick up the stolen base, his 19th of the year.
And for South Alabama, stolen base number 113, and Likely with a good jump. Pitch on the inside part of the plate to the left-hand batter. Throw was there, but then skips on out into center field, but a good play by Burgos to back it up. You know, these two teams love the run. Just mentioned that's the 113th stolen base for South Alabama. FIU has 138 steals coming into this game.
Well, that's Jaguar baseball at its best.
No doubt.
Right there, I'll tell you what.
Yes, sir.
So the Jags have a runner at second base here in the championship ball game. As we were saying, they have played only 3 ball games, and the heat has just been terrific here in Mobile, Alabama. We had about a 47-minute delay for a rain shower earlier today, but other than that, the first 3 days, temperatures hovering right around 90, humidity is high. It's been sultry here, and I'm sure it's taken a toll on some of these teams. South Alabama comes in fresh.
Well, they had to play a couple of night games, and certainly that has helped them.
Swing and a miss by Callahan, and he is tagged out by Al Corbeil. So that will be out number 1 as Callahan goes down on strikes for the first out.
Breaking ball inside part of the plate, and not much chance there. That one down in the dirt, and Callahan tagged out for the 3rd strike, and let's see what Groom can do now.
All right, Brian Groom, a .265 hitter, a home run and 21 RBIs this year. As you take a look at Peter Kocur out on the mound, now you see Groom in the batter's box. A left-hander also. Stands slightly open, feet wide apart, as Kocur, the right-hander. on the hill today for FIU, getting the start. And here is the pitch to Groom, and it's a breaking ball and misses a little bit low for ball one. Kocur's 4-2 this year. He's got a 4.55 earned run average. This will be his 16th appearance, his 9th start. He's worked 55 and a third, given up 36 runs, 60 hits, struck out 41, and walked 27. An attempted bunt by Groom misses. 4 strikes, so that'll even the count now. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Kocur's gone once against South Alabama this year, back on April the 16th here in Mobile. Went 2 in the third inning, 6 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned, walked 2. In the 8-7 game, he did not factor into the decision.
So Groom standing in at the plate. Brian is a senior, a one-year letterman, 6 feet tall, 180 pounds. Came to South Alabama out of Faulkner State Community College, and he just gets a piece of that one and chops it foul down into the dirt for strike 2. So the count goes 1-2. The Jaguars are the visitors in the ball game this afternoon. Florida International being the home team, and that always confuses people when they look up at the scoreboard and they see Guest on the top and Jags on the bottom, but actually it's switched.
Vice versa.
1 ball, 2 strikes, the count to Brian Groom, the left fielder, and he rips it right center field. The right fielder, Quintana, will have to take it on the first hop, as Likely turns around third base as the ball comes in, and there you see Likely stopping at third, but all of a sudden, the South Alabama Jaguars have something going here in the top half of the first inning on a single by Likely, a stolen base, and now the hit by Groom.
Good piece of hitting by Groom right there. Placed it in the gap in right center. And Likely coming around third, having to put the brakes on after a good strong throw back to the infield by Quintana.
So the Jags have runners at the corners now with 1 man out here in the top half of the first inning. And trying to get something going early. Had to battle back in the ballgame actually last night against New Orleans. New Orleans took a 2-0 lead and led 5-2 at one point, and then South Alabama came back and scored the last 6 runs of the ballgame to win it 8-5. Kocur on the mound as he chases the runner back to first base, Brian Groom. Here's a pitch to the plate. It's outside. Ball 1. Tim Merritt is the batter. Merritt, the sophomore shortstop, was the freshman of the year in the league last year. Has had a great season for South Alabama this year. Kocur working out of the stretch and will go over to first base with a quick throw. Merritt hit .340 on the year with 7 homers, 41 RBIs. Of course, we featured him in our open today. Missed several weeks with an appendectomy. Just got back into the lineup about 2.5, 3 weeks ago, Todd.
And he's done a good job since coming back.
I think the first series back was a series against the UNO Privateers over in New Orleans after being out for a while. Hits it foul right side, so it's 1-1. Pujol chased after it, but had no chance to get it. There you see Merritt out of Cantonment, Florida.
Kind of reminds you of Craig Biggio a little bit with all that pine tar on top of the helmet.
1 ball, 1 strike to the right-handed hitting shortstop, and Kocur is really bothered by Groom over there at first base. Groom on the year with 15 stolen bases, so he's a threat to go. I guess you can say that about everybody in the lineup for South Alabama, can't you? Here's a strike to Merritt, and it goes to 1-2.
Everybody's a threat to go for the Jags, and everybody's a threat to bunt. Steve Kittrell not at all bashful about laying one down from time to time.
Runners at the corners and 1 out, and there's a throw back over to first base once again as Groom gets back. So Peter Kocur holding him close over there is at the belt, and the pitch to the plate. Woo. Throwing outside. Nice stab by Corbeil behind home plate. There's Likely. He would have liked to seen that one go back to the screen. There's Al Corbeil, who had a great first ball game today. 2 home runs, 3 RBIs for his team. Meanwhile, Kocur, the right-hander, working very deliberately here with runners at the corners and 1 out. Here's the pitch to the plate, and That ball is strike 3, but it's in the dirt. That will be a strikeout. Here comes Likely in to score. South Alabama leads it 1-0 on a ball that was in the dirt, and Corbeil couldn't handle it, so Merritt turns down to, well, he can't go to first base because it was occupied, but that will be a strikeout. And let's look at it again.
Here's the pitch down in the dirt, bounces up, kicks toward the screen, and an easy advance for Likely as he's able to come home and score the first run of the day.
So the wild pitch will score Likely from third base, and moving up to second base was Brian Groom on the play. So the Jags have a runner at second with 2 out now. And Tony Picotti, the first sacker, stepping up. Pitch to him is a breaking ball, and it's in there on the inside corner for a strike. Nice pitch that time by Kocur.
Right in there. Good pitch.
Here is the 1-strike pitch, and it misses outside for a ball. Picotti hitting .311 during the season with 3 home runs and 28 RBIs. Picotti, a junior out of Boise, Idaho, attended Victor Valley, California Community College. Fouls this one back for strike. So it's 1-2. So Kocur off to a little bit of a shaky start here in the first.
A little shaky, and there's got to be a little bit of nerves, too, especially when you're pitching in a game of this magnitude.
These two teams playing for the automatic berth, and this one hits him. So Kocur was ahead on the pitch count and didn't want to do that for sure.
No, most certainly. Here it is again. Looked like it was going to be a changeup that stayed up and just barely nicked off the wrist of the batter, and now Stanky will stand in there.
Kyle Stanky, the designated hitter, sophomore out of DeSoto, Texas, the grandson of the great Eddie Stanky.
Did you ever get a chance to meet him?
I never did. Wish I could have.
Well, the first year at I was doing Western Kentucky's games, he was still coaching at South Alabama, and they came up to play Western, and what a treat it was to sit around and talk baseball with him.
Oh, I'll bet. Swing and a miss by Stanky. That'll even the count. 1 ball, 1 strike. Picotti is over at first base. That was the 10th time this year he has been hit by a pitch. Stanky, the right-hander, standing in. 1-1, the pitch on the way. Here's a ground ball, ticketed for the hole out into left field. Groom rounds third. Here comes the throw, and it's not going to be in time, and South Alabama will lead it 2-0 on the RBI single by Kyle Stanky.
That would have made Grandpa quite proud. Solid hit to the left side by Stanky, driving in the run as we look at it again. Kocur got a changeup inside, and Stanky able to slap it through and get the RBI single.
So the Jags have runners at first and second now. Throw a little bit off the mark. I don't think he would have had him anyway.
Mark Silva, the FIU pitching coach, is heading to the mound, and I know Coach Stanley Price did not want to see this happen early, especially after the fine performance by Collazo in the first game, but Kocur, a couple of hits and some wild things happening, and he's just really rattled right now.
Yeah, he might have got a little bit spoiled after that outing that Collazo gave him in the first ball game, I'll tell you.
Yeah. He retired 14 batters at one stretch in that first game, if you're just joining us here on the championship game.
Kyle Stanky, who just knocked in that run, knocked in the winning run against the University of New Orleans in that 2-1 win. It was tied 1-1 in the 8th when I think it was Merritt that led off with a triple, and then Stanky singled him home, and that proved to be the winning run in a 2-1 win against the regular season champion New Orleans Privateers. And then, of course, they defeated New Orleans last night 8-5 to send them home and advance to the championship game. And today they're already ahead 2-0 here in the top half of the first inning. Jason Gross, the catcher, is the batter. Pops it right behind shortstop. Miller is backing up, and that'll be an easy play for him. And that will be it, finally, for South Alabama here in the top half of the first inning. But in the inning, they do come up with 2 runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 2 left. Hits equating 2 runs in the top half of the first inning, leaving 2 on board. And we go to the bottom of the first, where FIU will send up Barry Paulk, Miller, and Corbeil. Looking at the Jags defensively, Groom is in left, Likely in center, Griffin out in right. On the infield, Parker, Merritt, Callahan, and Picotti around the horn. Daniel Head is on the mound, and Gross is behind the plate. And there you see the right-hander, Daniel Head.
6-9 record with a 4.04 earned run average, but he's had some good performances for South Alabama during the course of this season, and pitched a really good ball game the first game out in the Sun Belt Conference tournament.
He really did. He went the whole 9 innings against Arkansas Little Rock, beating them 8-0, and did not give up any runs. Only 4 hits, struck out 5 and walked 4 in that ball game. So taking a look at the batting lineup for FIU, it'll be Polk, Miller, and Corbeil. The middle of the lineup will have Michael Quintana, Gus Alfonso, and Raul Pujol. And the bottom of the order, Matt Huntingford, Tino Burgos, and Todd Sherbinski. So bottom half of the first inning, Polk will lead it off and takes the first pitch from Daniel Head. Inside for ball 1.
We talked about this in the first game a while ago, Gary. He is such a great table setter. He led off the first game with a double and then promptly stole a base and made a couple of good plays in the outfield, too.
You know, the real story for South Alabama has been their pitching, Todd. I'll tell you what, they're head and shoulders in ERA above everybody else in the tournament. Their ERA as a team only 2, and before last night's ball game, it was .5. And they really haven't had that great of pitching all year, but boy, they get in the tournament, and all of a sudden these guys come alive.
Must be the drinking water or the dirt on the mound here at Stanky Field, is all I got to say.
Whatever it is, they're going to keep doing it, I'm sure.
You know, down over the years, South Alabama has always had great pitchers. I can remember back when John Lieber was here in the late 80s and early 90s. Of course, now he's in the big leagues, and others that have passed through here.
And Polk swings and misses at a breaking ball on the inside that time, so he goes down on strikes. So a good start for Daniel Head.
And a great breaking ball inside part of the plate, and Polk just couldn't get around on it, and see you later.
So Polk is out of there on strikes, and that's only the 27th strike times he has struck out this year. And the first pitch to Eric Miller is outside for ball 1. Miller had a couple of hits in the first ball game this afternoon against Louisiana Lafayette. His hit comes in with a strike, and that will even it up to him at 1 ball, 1 strike. Miller had 2 hits and 2 RBIs and also scored a run.
And really, that was the best game he's played in this tournament as far as offensive stat goes.
And he hits a fly ball to center field. Likely won't have any problem with that one, and will make the catch for out number 2. So 2 up and 2 down here in the bottom half of the first inning. And that's going to bring up Al Corbeil. And we talked about Corbeil in the day that he had earlier today, as he had 2 home runs, 3 RBIs. So he was 2 for 4 and a walk, but I'll tell you what, he is really the backbone of this team.
No doubt about it. At batting average, as that pitch misses inside at .402, and he's trying to become the first FIU player in a little bit of time to come up with a .400 batting average.
Player of the year in the Sun Belt Conference this year. Head goes to work with a fastball and just missed with that one. So the count goes 2 balls, no strikes. Corbeil measuring it at the plate there, ready to go. 2 strike pitches inside to him again. Head's working carefully, trying to work the inside part of the plate to him, and just missing.
Yeah, he doesn't want to get that ball on the outside part of the plate. One of the home runs he hit, the one to left center, came on a pitch outside part of the plate. The other, fastball right down the heart.
And there is the strike on the 3-0 pitch, making it 3-1. 2 out, nobody on here in the bottom half of the first inning. South Alabama leading it 2-0 with a couple of runs in the top of the frame, and this one's chopped over towards the South Alabama dugout, and that'll make it full count, 3-2. Corbeil has got 13 home runs this year, 68 RBIs, and as Todd said, a .402 batting average. Payoff pitch on the way, and he missed outside with a fastball. So FIU will have a base runner with 2 men gone here in the bottom half of the first inning.
And really, I don't think Steve Kitchell can complain too much about that. You want to try to take the bat out of that powerful guy's hands, and yeah, you have to give up a walk, unfortunately, with 2 outs, but still, it's better than having him maybe take it out of the yard.
So that's going to send up Michael Quintana. Quintana, the right fielder, hitting .371. Hit for a good average this year. Batting from the left side, and here is the pitch, and he lofts a fly ball left field. That ball's carrying the left fielder, Groom, all the way back, and that ball is out of here. Home run for Michael Quintana. That's his 3rd home run of the year, a 2-run homer. And we're tied all of a sudden, 2-2, and FIU is relying on the long ball today, Todd.
I tell you what, that ball was hit pretty good, but, you know, Gary, it got some help from the wind.
Yeah.
Looking out at the flag, it's blowing across right to left field, and the wind kind of helped that ball out a little bit. It looked like it was just going to be a routine fly ball. It just kept on carrying. As you see the flag from out in right field, it's just blowing across the left.
Well, that's what I said. That ball was carrying, and we could tell because Groom just kept going back and back and back and just ran out of room.
Yep. And as you see Groom on the wall, he's kind of thinking, oh, I got a chance at this one. Then he turns to look up, and nope, it's gone.
So we're all tied up at 2 apiece as FIU battles back in the bottom of the frame, and Gus Alfonso, the 3rd baseman, takes a pitch for ball 1. I saw Alfonso make a play yesterday in the ball game against Louisiana that I have never seen. A hard-hit ball near the bag. He got it on his knees, and he threw from his knees and threw it across the diamond and got the runner. Here was a ground ball, second base. Callahan will throw him out for the 3rd out here in the bottom of the 1st inning. But in the inning, FIU comes back with 2 runs on 1 hit, the home run, and we go to the 2nd. It's all tied up. FIU gave them a 2 spot, but they came back with the home run, the 2-run homer by Quintana to tie it up at 2-2. So we got a brand new ball game as we go to the 2nd.
Long ball deluxe, and the Jag fans like it, and some of the other folks that are still hanging around, you know, that young lady's under her Crayola umbrella having a big time watching this one today.
That looked like she had a nice cool drink under there, having a good time. So Griffin is the batter here to lead it off in the top of the 2nd for the Jags. Playing out in right field. Here's the pitch to him, and it's ball 2 up high. Griffin gunned down Todd Thompson on a bang-bang play at the plate in that 2-1 ball game the other day. At the time, it would have given UNO a 2-1 lead, but it kept the game at 1-1. And Griffin threw a strike from right field on a hit by Rob Stein out there, and that erased Thompson at the plate. And, of course, South Alabama went on to win it 2-1.
That tells me there's been some well-played games in this tournament. We've had some high-scoring affairs, but when the pitchers have been on it, we've had some good ones that way, too.
And here's ball 4 to Griffin, so he draws a leadoff walk here in the 2nd inning, and it's something that a pitcher doesn't ever want to do, is walk that leadoff man.
2nd straight inning in which the Jags have been able to get the leadoff man aboard.
And, of course, Likely scored in the 1st inning, scored the 1st run as he came around on the single by Kyle Stanky. So Brett Parker, the 3rd baseman, steps up to the plate. And there was a pitch from Kocur, and he chops it right into that dugout over there. Look out, guys. That'll scatter you.
Well, they were all scattering out over there in that FIU dugout. You know, it's been kind of a special week for Steve Kittrell. In that win against New Orleans on Thursday, 2-1, he picked up his 700th career victory.
Tell you what, he's had a great career here.
17 years at South Alabama, and 1 year at Spring Hill College before that. He's 701, 391, and 1 tie.
Here is the pitch to Parker, who tries to bunt the ball and misses for strike 2, so the count goes 0-2.
And that's Kittrell ball right there.
Yeah.
They want to get that runner moved over in the scoring position.
Griffin, the runner at first base, has stolen 18 bases this year. He shares the lead with 2 other guys. Merritt and Likely each have 18 also. So there's 3 of them that have stolen 18 bases on this Jag team. And he bunts it. Boy, that was a high inside pitch. Still got it down as Kocur makes the play to first base. With the 2nd sacker, Burgos covering. Well, that is the first baseman that will take the throw. That'll be a sacrifice, as Bujol did not charge the ball. So nice sacrifice by Parker on a bunt that was very pitch. It was very hard to bunt.
Now it was a fastball way up and in around the face, and he was just able to kind of get the bat on it and get it in play somewhere, but doing his job and moving the runner along.
So Griffin is advanced to second base. And we'll go back to the top of the order where Cameron Likely led off the ball game as he ripped a single to left field. Runner at second base represents the go-ahead run, and here is a breaking ball from Peter Kocur. It's inside for ball one.
You know, Likely out of the mold of other great leadoff men they've had here at South Alabama. Lance Johnson is one that comes to mind. Also Alan Battle, who was here a few years ago.
Tell you what, you got two great leadoff people in this ball game, and Likely and Polk, of course, of FIU. Polk, the MVP last year in the tournament. Both of them play center field. Here is the pitch. Ground ball, third base. Alfonso's got it, holds the runner, makes the throw. Inside of the back, Pujol will tag him, and that'll be the second out. So the runner cannot advance, and that'll send up Scott Callahan.
Good play by Alfonso. Heads up on the lip of the grass, knowing that there was a possibility Likely would bunt, and Likely slapped it hard right to him, and he made a nice play.
Callahan, a junior at 5'9", 195 pounds, out of Crossville, Tennessee for the Jags. There's a pitch to him. That's out in your part of the country, isn't it?
Well, Crossville's about 3 hours from our part of the world, up in Kentucky, yeah.
All right. Wasn't exactly sure where it was. You'd have to give me some reference point to Nashville, I guess.
It's about an hour west of Knoxville.
Okay. I know Knoxville, too.
2 hours from Nashville, about an hour west of Knoxville. And that gets you in Crossville.
Well, 1 ball, 1 strike to Callahan as he fouled the last one out of play up over the bleachers, over the FIU dugout. 1-1 pitch. That one gets away from Kocur just a bit, and it goes outside for ball 2. So 2-1. There's Corbeil. Haven't talked about the umpires in today's game. We'll have to do that in a minute. There goes the runner. Here is a ball lofted into center field. Polk on the run over in the gap, and he's going to chase it down, and that'll be all for Callahan as he runs down the fly ball in left center. So in the inning, the Jags have no runs on no hits. There were no errors. 1 is left. We played an inning and a half, and it's 2-2.
And you can log on for all the latest news and info, as well as find an open fan forum to talk about what's been going on in the Sun Belt Conference Tournament. That's at www.collegesportscentral.com. And what a great website that is if you're keeping up with the Sun Belt Conference Tournament or anything where college sports in the Southeast is concerned.
Thank you very much, Todd.
Well, you're very welcome. Glad to help when I can.
All right, we go to the bottom half of the second inning, and it'll be Raul Pujol, the first baseman, to lead it off. A right-handed hitter for FIU, and here is the pitch from Daniel Head, and it's chopped foul, strike 1.
Well, Pujol made a couple of great defensive plays in that first game. Remember, there was a ball that was hit that turned into a double play. Ball hit by Will Hawkins, hit a screamer back to him.
Only double play of the ball game as Head works him with a fastball. Strike 2. No balls, 2 strikes to Pujol. He had a double and a single in the first ball game and scored a run. This one is outside. Nice job behind the plate by the catcher, Gross, and it goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Daniel Head, the big right-hander, won a complete ball game against Arkansas Little Rock. 9 innings, shut them out 8-0 on the Wednesday, first day of the tournament. Here is a ground ball in the hole. Merritt dives, comes up with it, but will have no throw. That'll be a base hit. So a nice bit of hitting by Pujol and a nice try by Tim Merritt, the shortstop. So FIU puts the leadoff batter aboard. He represents the go-ahead run.
And here it is again as we look at it. Merritt made a nice diving play to his left, just couldn't quite get a glove on it. And really, I don't think he would have had a chance to get the runner anyway.
That's going to send up Matt Huntingford, the left fielder. Huntingford, a left-handed batter, stands straight away in the box, and Head goes to work with a fastball. It's down and inside for ball 1. Huntingford hitting .291 this year. Doesn't have any home runs, so he doesn't have much power. The outfield playing fairly deep for him because the wind blowing out towards left field carried the ball out of the ballpark off the bat of Quintana in the first inning, which tied it at 2 apiece. Pitch, chopper out to the second baseman. Callahan up with it, goes to Merritt for 1, throw to first base. Double play.
Oh, what a beautiful double play turn right there by the Jaguars. I mean, that was picture perfect from the word go. Callahan did a great job to get the ball out of his glove and flip it over to Merritt to turn it. Let's look at it again here if we can. Ball hit to the right side. Great play by Callahan to get the ball down to Merritt, and Merritt made a great throw and a great stretch right there by Picotti, just keeping the foot on the bag to get the out. Look at this. Nice, easy toss right there. That's the way you make a tailor-made double plays, when you make a throw like that.
Great job by Merritt, too, to get out of the way of the slide of Pujol and get that relay over to first base, and that will send up Tino Burgos and takes a strike. So Burgos, the second sacker for Florida International, also a left-handed batter, fouls it left side, and right off the bat, Daniel Head works ahead of the count at no balls and 2 strikes. Burgos this year only hit for an average of 204, had a couple of home runs and 8 RBIs, and here's the pitch. It's way up high for ball 1, so the count goes to 1 ball, 2 strikes. The 1-2 pitch bounces in front of home plate, and that will even it up now. 2-2. Burgos did not have a hit in the first ball game today, as he went 0 for 4 on a walk, did score a run. The left-handed batter, his head works to him with the pitch, and it is hit left field. The left fielder, Groom, moving over, should make an easy catch, and does. And that will be it here in the second inning for FIU. It's a 3-up, 3-down inning in essence. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left. We'll look back at the grandstand from center field. 2-2 all tied up. 2 runs, 3 hits for the Jags. 2 runs, 2 hits for FIU. Look at the cameraman up there out in far away center field.
A good 400 feet. Hey.
Nice job out there.
Yeah.
Pump it up.
Pump it up. You betcha. Yes, sir.
And some of the folks in the stands enjoying a beautiful day here in Mobile after the rains went through about 11:30 this morning and delayed us for about 47 minutes. Not about 47 minutes, exactly 47 minutes.
It was exactly 47.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
Brian Groom will lead it off here in the third for the Jags. He singled and came around to score the second run for South Alabama. We're all tied up 2-2. As Kocur works him outside and high for a ball, so that'll even up the count to Groom at 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's a fly ball, left side, the left fielder chasing over after it, and wow, he ran right under the ball, went over his head. I'm not sure if Huntingford lost the ball out there or what.
Kind of hard to tell. Let's look at it again and see.
Yeah. I don't know if it got up in the sun or what.
Yeah, he looks like he lost. Yeah, the ball was actually behind him. Yeah. He thought it was elsewhere, so he must have lost it in the sun.
I think so. He's got his glasses on now, but that thing almost came down, hit him right on top of the head.
Right there by the Will Hawkins part of the fence out there.
Oh, yeah. Here was a pitch from Kocur, and it is high and away for ball 2. So it is 2 balls and 2 strikes to Brian Groom, the left fielder. 1 for 1 this afternoon. 2-2 tie. Here is a pitch. Oh, Kocur must have just missed with that. Close pitch. 3-2. Full count. Peter Kocur, the right-hander, on the hill for FIU this afternoon. Pitch. Missed flow with a fastball. He walked in.
You know, third time in as many innings, the Jaguars have been able to get the leadoff man aboard.
That is the second walk issued by Kocur this afternoon. He also has a couple of strikeouts to go along with it. That brings up Tim Merritt. Merritt, a dangerous hitter. Actually struck out his first time, but a wild pitch allowed the run to score. Here is a deep fly ball. Paulk going back. That ball hits the fence in center field. Groom digging around third base. They're going to wave him on. Here comes the relay, and it's high, and he'll score. There's a throw to third base, and sliding it head first goes Tim Merritt.
Well, I tell you what, that's an excellent piece of base running by Merritt. throw was wide and up the first base line. Coming in from the shortstop, Miller, so no chance to make the play at the plate. And Merritt saw that happening. Good heads-up play to take the extra base.
So an RBI double by Tim Merritt. He'll go to third on the throw to home plate as he gave that thing a ride. And Paulk knew it was going to be off the wall. You can see him playing it back there.
Yep, and played the Kieran perfectly and made a good throw back in.
Groom tearing around third.
Yep, there was no doubt he was going to try to score, and he was able to get in, and now Merritt's going to come in.
On a wild pitch, or maybe that ball hit him, I guess. So that will not be a wild pitch. It hit the batter. So Picotti is hit for the second time and the 11th time this year.
Well, not getting a chance to work on that 14-game hitting streak that he's been on here lately.
Not at that rate, but I think, he would give that up for a win, I think, Todd.
Oh, no question. What a great story it would be if the Jaguars were able to win this game today.
Oh, wouldn't it? Coming in with a record of 26-31. And to be honest, their only chance to go to the tournament is to win this game. Here is a fly ball short center field. Paulk and Huntingford chasing after it. Paulk is going to make the catch. Here comes the runner. Here comes the throw from Paulk. There's the tag. And he got him. So Paulk putting the tag on Tim Merritt. And it turns into a double play.
Tell you what, that was a beautiful throw from Paulk. It was just a tad high, but Corbeil was able to get it and get it down and get the tag. We look at it again. Almost a collision, first of all, as you described, Gary. And then Paulk makes a great throw right on the money, and boom.
There it is again. Boy, he was moving, and moving towards the plate, uncorked that thing. Watch it again.
Just a tad high on the throw, but Corbeil did a great job to pull it down and get the sliding Merritt on the play.
Great camera work by our guys there, I'll tell you what. So a bang-bang double play as Picotti is still at first base, and the batter is Jason Gross, who popped up to the shortstop Miller his first time, so he's 0 for 1 this afternoon. So 2 men are out after 1 run is in here in the third, and South Alabama has recaptured the lead 3-2 on an RBI double by Tim Merritt after Kocur walked the first batter. And the count to the batter, Jason Gross, now goes to 2-1. You see Kocur, concentration on his face. This ball's ripped foul. Boy, he got a fastball down around the knees that time, and Gross really turned on it.
Sure did a great job there. If that had been fair, that would have been extra bases probably.
Goes as a long strike for Jason Gross, the catcher. He does a great job behind the plate for South Al, too. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Bradley Griffin, the right fielder, is on deck. Here was a fly ball left field. Huntingford's going to chase that down for the 3rd out of the inning. But in the inning, for South Alabama, they did come up with a run on a base hit. There were no errors, nobody left, and we have completed 2 1/2 now. Sports Central on College Sports Southeast every weeknight at 6:30 for the latest college sports news and information. College Sports Southeast is your source for college baseball. For more information about College Sports Southeast availability, call 205-425-6935 or log on to our website at www.collegesportscentral.com. Bottom half the 3rd inning. Todd Sherbinsky will lead it off. He is the number 9 hole hitter for the FIU Golden Panthers as they trail now 3-2 in the ball game. So the leadoff walk to Brian Groom cost Peter Kocur as Tim Merritt knocks him in with a double. Paulk helped his pitcher out with a nice throw to the plate, however, to catch Merritt trying to tag up and score after a fly ball to center by Kyle Stanky. And then, of course, Gross flied out to left to retire the side. 1 strike to Sherbinsky, and here's a 1-strike pitch, and he goes to the right side. That's fair ball as the first baseman. Picotti can't come up with it. Sherbinsky digging for second. Here comes the throw, the tag, and they got him. Nice job by Griffin out in right field. I tell you what, you don't want to test that kid out in right field too much. UNO knows it as he threw one out at home, and now He throws out Sherbinsky trying to leg it into a double.
Great one-hop throw to second base, and Merritt, the shortstop, right there to apply the tag, and we'll look at it again. Here comes the throw, and one bounce, and right there is Merritt, right there is Sherbinsky, and Merritt wins the battle there as we look at it again. Great shot from the center field camera as we look at it there, and boom, right there it is.
Bang, bang play at second base. And one man is out here in the bottom half of the third inning, so FIU will go back to the top of the order now, where Barry Polk will be the batter. He struck out his first time, so Barry is 0 for 1 in the ball game and swings at the first pitch, hits it over to Picotti, the first baseman. That'll be an easy out. Step on the bag, and 2 up and 2 down.
That put out or assist on the play by Griffin, his 6th of the season, by the way.
Second in the tournament. Of course, we were talking about that one a while ago at home plate. Boy, he's got a great arm out there in right field. And here is the pitch to Eric Miller outside for ball 1. 2 men are gone here in the bottom of the third inning. Change-up this time from Head, and it's in there for a strike. So that's going to even the count. 1 ball, 1 strike. There's a ground ball out to the second baseman, Callahan. He'll make the throw. It's 3 up, 3 down in the inning. So in the inning, there are no runs. There was 1 base hit. There are no errors. Nobody left. We've completed 3. It's 3-2. Leads at 3-2, and here to take us through the middle innings, we're going to turn it over to Dave McDaniel. So you and Todd take it for the next few innings here, Dave.
Thanks a lot, Gary. Glad to be here in Mobile. A gorgeous day in the port city in the state of Alabama for the 2000 Sun Belt Conference Championship game between the Jaguars and the FIU Panthers. First up for South Alabama right now, Brandley Griffin, the right fielder, had a walk back in the second, stranded at second base. A 1-1 pitch now. On the way from Kocur will miss. 2 balls and 1 strike.
And I tell you what, that defensive play he made in the top half of this inning has to go down as one of the gems in this tournament.
Number 6 on the season for him, so runners should know better than to test that arm. Pitch foul back 2 apiece. Just a gorgeous day here in Mobile. Humidity, well, what do you expect right here on the coast of the Gulf? A little bit up, but a nice breeze makes it feel very nice. The 2-2, swing and miss. There's a strikeout. There's the second K of the afternoon for Kocur.
And here's a good pitch right here, down and away, and he's able to get Griffin for the out.
Griffin takes a seat. Brett Parker, third baseman for the Jags, coming up next, had the sacrifice bunt back in the second inning. And with 1 down, he'll take the pitch right at the bottom of the strike zone, 0-1. Both these teams trying to play their way into the NCAA tournament after this particular ball game, 1-1.
Certainly think Florida International, with the win in the first game, may have solidified their possibility of getting in.
New Orleans expected to make it in. Of course, Lafayette will have a regional. 1 ball and 2 strikes to the third bagger for the Jaguars. 1-2 pitch will get away from Corbeil behind the plate. Evens the count 2 apiece. South Alabama, as you have seen on the wall in the outfield, been to a bunch of regionals, Sun Belt champion some 11 times or 9-10 times, as we watch a high fly ball into shallow center field. Coming on is Polk. They're calling everyone off as Miller. He'll make the catch for out 1, or out 2, I apologize.
I thought for a minute Polk was going to play that ball, but the shortstop Miller just stepped over and said, I got it, and he took it, and a nice play there.
Had a chance to see Polk in that first game. Really impressed with that young man's speed.
He makes it look
anything
easy.
Hit out there, he's going to chase it down.
He makes it look easy, that's for sure, Dave.
Likely up now for the Jaguars. Send one into center field. We'll watch Polk drift back a couple of steps. Makes the catch. A quick 1-2-3 inning for the Jaguars here at the top of the 4th. No runs, no hits, no errors, no one left on base. It is 3-2 South Alabama. Please. We'd like to welcome some local and loyal affiliates for providing quality sports programming to you, the viewer. If you would like more information on college sports Southeast, give us a call at 205-425-6935 or log on the World Wide Web at www.collegesportscentral.com. We head to the bottom of the fourth inning with South Alabama holding that 3-2 advantage. First three Golden Panthers up. Quintana, and Alfonso. And out of the first two, both of those have scored the runs so far for FIU.
And Corbeil was the scorer, the big scorer in the first game with 2 home runs.
Still have that stiff breeze blowing out the left field. He'll take a strike from ahead.
Third time I've watched Corbeil play this year. Every time I've watched him play, I've been very, very impressed.
Next pitch right on the inside, evens the count of the ball and a strike to the catcher for FIU. Still a pretty high sky here in Mobile. Some clouds on the horizon, but no threat of rain right now at this moment. Next pitch will miss on the outside. 2 balls and 1 strike.
You weren't supposed to say that.
I brought it back again, didn't I? It just seems like it follows me around. We had that delay earlier this morning, but since then it's been nothing but great baseball. The 1-2 bounces, 2, 3, and 1. They'll play Corbeil pretty much straight away in the outfield. The infield playing back in their usual depth on defense. A couple of these high flies we've seen today, Todd, and got the end of the wind to get out of the park. That'll be sent back to the fence. He's pulled up. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
But you know, this is, as I said earlier, this is really a hitter-friendly ballpark. 330 down the lines and 400 to center, and about 370 to the gap. So hitters are a likable breed in this ballpark.
Base hit in the left field. Corbeil makes the turn at first base. He'll stop there and starts off the fourth inning with a single for FIU.
And another opposite field hit for Corbeil. Remember, one of his 2 home runs that he hit in the first game was to left center. He likes going to that opposite field quite a lot.
We get a chance to see how the aluminum bat aids these players. And, of course, that's one of the things with the aluminum bat. You see a lot of the opposite field hits as well as home runs. But when he comes off that end of the bat, Todd has a ton of English on it. It's pretty tough to make a catch.
It sure does.
Mike Quintana up next had a big home run. The big 2-run blast back at the first takes a ball.
You know, there's been some talk lately again about the possibility of, if they can't get an aluminum bat regulated, of bringing the wood bat back. It would be interesting to see how it would go.
A lot of these guys do play in some of the off-season leagues up north, Cape Cod, and some of the others where they get a chance to work with the wooden bats, familiarize themselves with it, especially if they have a chance to go to the next level. 2 balls and 1 strike to Quintana. Nobody out. Down at first is Corbeil. That pitch will make it across the plate. 2-1.
Inside part of the plate from Daniel Head. Good fastball that got right across the black.
Daniel seems to be working more inside than outside today, trying to keep it out of the wheelhouses. A lot of these Golden Panther batters can send them deep. The 2-1 will hit him in the ankle, and yeah, he's going to take a stagger step there. That one's going to hurt.
That looked like a pitch that got away. It looked like Head just let it slip out of his hand, and it got the heel of Quintana. And quickly, the FIU training staff out to take a look at him.
That's one thing that this South Alabama, even the school here, prides themselves on, having great sports medicine.
Here it is again. Yeah, it was a fastball that got away, and he was trying to get out of the way, and it caught that front heel, the right heel. No fun when you get hit on the heel, whether it's a pitched ball or a foul ball.
That was going to sting. You're right. So as you see, he immediately stopped right there, dragging the foot as one of the trainers has a shoe off, taking a look at it. Good news is he's going to get her up. You never know when it comes to a game of baseball. Some of the things that doesn't look like it's going to hurt very much can take you out for an entire season.
Exactly.
And we've seen guys take spills that you would just think they're going to have to pull the ambulance on the field to take them off. They'll get right back up and walk away.
It's amazing. And Quintana will jog it on off down to first base.
Rather gingerly, but he is at first base. Second time for him to get on the bag this afternoon in as many at-bats. He'll run it off just a little bit so he doesn't look any worse for the wears. Trots back down toward first base. Up next for Florida International, Alfonso. They grounded out to the second baseman back in the first inning.
I asked Danny Price between games why he took Quintana out in that first game, and he said, I wasn't liking the way he was swinging the bat. And that's why Nunez came in the middle innings.
And nothing will fire a player up more than to be taken out of the lineup
Exactly.
and have the chance to come back and do it again. Obviously, he proved that in the first inning. Alfonso awaits his first offering here in the fourth. That will find its way across the plate, 0-1.
We had a notion to bunt right there and took that pitch, Dave. And as we talked about in the first game and talked about a little earlier today, this is FIU's kind of ball. If they get runners with an opportunity to get them to scoring position, they're going to try to find a way to bunt them over.
And looks in for the pitch selection, and now Alfonso will back out of the box, walk down the third base line to get some instruction. The winner of this game advances on to the NCAA tournament. And just as you said, if it is South Alabama, you think FIU may have played their way into the tournament with a win earlier over Louisiana Lafayette.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see what the committee decides. New Orleans has played some awfully good baseball. It could put them back on the bubble. It's kind of like it was last year when there was an opportunity for 3 teams to go.
Head with the 0-1. But it gives chase. He'll throw over to first. He's only playing. Does he get there in time? No. So instead of a sacrifice, bases now loaded with Golden Panthers. And nobody out.
And again, as I talked about a moment ago, this is FIU-style baseball. They love to execute it. I'll tell you what, a perfect bunt. Executed very well to the left of the mound. And Head's only play was going to be to first base, and his throw was just a little bit late.
They have double clutched just a bit when he got to the ball, but be that as it may, tie right there. Tie goes to the runner.
That's exactly right. But, Florida International not only has Pauk with speed, they got some other folks that can jump down that line, too. And, I mean, it tells with the fact that they've stolen 138 bases this year, and that's going to get the South Alabama bullpen busy in a hurry.
That's one thing I've noticed about the Sun Belt. Every team has speed on it. Nobody has a slow baseball team now. Some of the hitters, come and go as far as teams are concerned. But overall, as a conference, the Sun Belt is awfully fast. Little number, Texas leaguer in the center field coming on hard. He's likely makes the diving catch. Runner's tag scoring from third is going to be Corbeil. Now the appeal is to second base, and he did tag up.
Yes, he did. That's a correct call.
So there, Garrett O'Connor making the right call out there, watching over second base, and we're tied down at 3 apiece.
Steve Kitchell not particularly happy with that as he looks at it again. Let's look at Likely. This is a great play. Coming on, the ball is sinking. Boy, he did just barely get the glove on it and able to smother it. And the runner tagging from third base in plenty of time. The runner at second tagged in plenty of time as well.
Once again, a 3-3 ball game. We're in the fourth inning. Hunting forward up next for Florida International with a ground out. Back in the second inning. Second base is open. We'll see if they decide to try to pull a double steal here with one down.
Well, third and first. Well, first baseman Picotti is holding the runner, but Parker playing even with the bag, but also giving himself enough space if they do put the bunt down to try to move up.
That pitch will miss as well. 2-0.
Now, South Alabama would like nothing better right here than to get a double play and get out of this mess.
Certainly have the opportunity to do it here with one out. Fouled on. So the count now, 1 ball and 2 strikes to Hunting Field. We watch Paul Head. Say Paul Head. Paul Head played quarterback at Ole Miss. That's what I get for thinking about that. Daniel Head traces that one down. Gets ready to bring this next 2-1 pitch again. Outfield pretty much don't see a whole lot of stunning as far as the outfield is concerned in this ball game. They played pretty much straight away. Good crowd on hand here at Eddie Stanky Stadium on the campus of the University of South Alabama. Throw down to second base. Not going to be in time, so give a stolen base to Alfonso. Second stolen base in this ball game. The other belonging to South Alabama is likely in the first inning picked off the base.
And now a chance here with runners in scoring position for Huntingford to bring home a couple.
Hitter's pitch. 3 balls, 1 strike. Right on the inside part of the plate.
And he went around.
Certainly did. Came on around with the bat, so that'll load the count up here. The complexion of this game can change a whole bunch on this next pitch, especially if he puts the ball in play with runners in scoring position. Head delivers a 3-2. Swing and a miss. He fouled it off. Count stays the same. Everybody staying in their respective positions. One more time, his head gets ready now. Checks in with Gross on the pitch selection. And the payoff on the way. Upstairs, ball 4, bases again loaded. This is the same situation that Florida International had in the first game against Lafayette.
Yeah, they had the bases loaded and were able to do a little bit of damage in that first ball game in that 9-2 win. One time, if you remember, though, they did leave the bases loaded back in the 6th inning of that ball game, that after scoring 3 runs.
Second walk issued by Head this afternoon. So bases juiced once again for Florida International. Big breaking pitch will stay high and away as Tino Burgos gets ready to stand in down for Florida International. Live coverage of the 2000 Sun Belt Championship game from Mobile, Alabama. As the count evens up at a ball and a strike.
Joe Long, the right-hander, going for South Alabama in their bullpen. Tim Davis is the left-hander throwing down there.
So we'll see if Coach Kittrell decides to go to the bullpen at any point. Bases loaded here. You would certainly think right now in the 4th inning that Ed still has some steam available. That'll find the outside corner. Great pitch right there.
And just as you say that, he throws a little off-speed pitch on the outside part of the plate.
And that's one of the few times we've seen him work that part of the plate today. Trying to keep it out of that hitter's range over there. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Burgos, who ground towards second. Could be a double. Callahan up with it quickly, and there's the 4-6-3 to take South Alabama out of any more trouble. They do score a run, Florida International does, on a hit. No errors. 3 men left on base. We're tied at 3. The South Alabama dugout on a hot, sweaty Mobile afternoon in the 2000 Sun Belt Championship game. Live from Eddie Stanky Field. Dave McDaniel along with Todd Hamilton. Gary Gallup will be back with us a little bit later on in the ball game. First pitch on the outside to Callahan. So we start the top of the 5th inning in a 3-3 ball game.
Tell you what, he has been masterful at turning a couple of double plays today. The last one to end that top half of the frame. Tell you what, they've got beautiful combination in that middle infield with Callahan and Merritt.
Had a chance to see them play Alabama earlier this year up in Tuscaloosa, and they were a dynamic duo in the middle of the infield. 3 balls and no strikes to Callahan. Just starting the top of the 5th inning. Callahan struck out. Back in the first, flied out in the second. 0-for-2 on the afternoon. The 3-0 pitch, 4 straight, and he'll take the trot down to first. So South Alabama with a go-ahead run at first base.
4th time in 5 innings today, Dave, that they've gotten the leadoff man aboard. The only one who didn't make it was Griffin, who struck out to start the 4th.
And the 2nd time today, the leadoff, 3rd time today, the leadoff man has gone to first base with a walk out of those 4 attempts. As Court Beal will go out and talk with Kocur for just a moment.
Now Steve Kittrell's going to get his troops together to talk a little strategy. I would suspect that there might be a sacrifice or a hit and run on in this situation right here. Jaguar baseball, traditionally, they love to bunt the ball. They love to get the ball, the chance to move the runners along, whether it's by the bunt or whether going to the opposite field with a hit. And here comes Mark Silva now to talk with his hurler. FIU has some activity going in the bullpen. As we talked about earlier, one good thing about this for the Golden Panthers is, Collazo pitches the complete game, so it's not like they had to use the bullpen much at all in game 1. And that gives those arms a little bit more chance to rest up. And he said before this game that he would throw what he had to out there. And it looks like here, Dave, that they're going to make a pitching change indeed. And there'll be a new hurler coming on for FIU.
We'll have to double check on the numbers here in just a couple of minutes as we get ready to welcome the new arm for the Golden Panthers. And right now, it doesn't matter what happens in the postseason. Somebody's going to go home as a champion. We'll have the new pitcher coming up in just a moment here on College Sports Southeast.
Gilbert Landestoy is the new pitcher for Florida International. You see his numbers 4-1 with a 3.98 earned run average, 28 walks and 48 strikeouts. Landestoy has pitched in 40 and 2/3 innings this year. Of his 23 runs, 18 of them are earned. He's only allowed 1 home run, and teams hitting at .255 against Landestoy this season.
Pretty strong right-hander on the hill now for Florida International. Again, as I said before the break, doesn't matter what's going to happen in postseason. Somebody's going home with a trophy today. So if you have to use the entire pen, which now Florida International has an excellent opportunity by using just one pitcher against Lafayette earlier this morning. Can send everybody out there and try to hold on, or at least with a 3-3 tie can make some changes to get out with a victory today here in Mobile.
Committee is what we call it here now the rest of the way, Dave. And, you know, it just depends on situations and hitters and what changes other teams might make and so forth. So we'll see how all this strategy plots out.
Well, Brian Groom due up next. Had a single and scored back in the first. Walked and scored in the third. 2 out of the 3 South Alabama runs are to his credit. He gets ready to stand in now. Landestoy, big right-hander. Ready to face a left-handed Groom. Breeze still pretty stiff, blowing from right to left field. We'll see if that comes into play, and it's already done it this afternoon. Misses off the plate, ball 1.
Landestoy from Friendwood, Texas via Alvin Junior College, 6'4", 220-pounder. Of course, Alvin, Texas, the home of the great Nolan Ryan.
Here he can hurl a ball, too. One ball, one strike.
He could just a little bit.
I've seen him once. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. He's the guy that has the aspirin commercial. Only kidding. The 1-1 pitch now getting ready to come in from Landestoy. He'll now throw over to first base and chase Groom back. And again, we talked about the fact that Steve Kittrell's teams have real station to station. Steal at any point, bunt at any point. This is one of the most exciting baseball teams in America. Well, some of the fans not agreeing with the call by the umpire. 1 ball and 2 strikes now to the left fielder.
That was a pretty good pitch by Landestoy. Nipped the outside corner.
Landestoy up. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Sent into right field. Quintana comes in, tracks the ball down, throws into second. Everybody's safe. Callahan down at second base. Groom at first with a single here in the 5th and nobody out.
Well, Callahan waited just a second before he took off to second. He wanted to make sure that Quintana did not come in and make the catch on that ball. And we'll look at it again here as Landestoy delivers a changeup a little bit inside. And the ball takes 1 hop out to right field. And like I said, Callahan waited to make sure that ball got down before he made his move on to second.
Tim Merritt, who has been spectacular in the field already today, had an RBI, but was gunned down trying to steal home in the 3rd and struck out in the 1st. 2 on and nobody out for South Alabama here in the 5th. Landestoy is going to be eaten up with these runners. He knows how dangerous this South Alabama team is for stealing bases. It's nothing to watch him head toward 3rd if that bag's open. Swing and a miss. Up empty with that one is Merritt.
Well, the double from Merritt a little bit earlier, the 3rd he's had in this tournament. And with the 2 at-bats today, he is now 5 for 12 in the tournament.
Merritt down 0-1. Timeout now called by home plate umpire Chapman. Took a little bit too much time as Merritt decided to step out for just a moment, gather himself back up, and the 0-1 is going to come up in a minute.
You know, it's so funny to watch these pitchers make these bluff moves.
Some of them borderline the balk. You really have to watch
close.
their feet. Now, once he starts making a move toward home with that front foot, he has to complete the throw. If he decides to wheel around, then you're going to watch the runners go up another base. The 0-1 now coming on, and they're squaring the bunt. His Merritt comes up empty.
Well, they call that pitch a ball, Dave. They said it went outside.
He pulled the bat back, but his momentum was carrying him across the plate. The official let that one go as a ball, so 1-1. Nobody out. 2 on South Alabama. An excellent opportunity here to push across a run and break this 3-3 deadlock. Sidewinder comes in. Misses down low, 2-1. Interesting to watch these guys work from the side because they'll snap that wrist so quick, and they use a really either a fork ball or a slider. That ball will dance all over the place before it gets to the plate. The 2-1. Almost catches Merritt on the shoulder. He'll let that one slide. 3-1 now.
And the other pitch that they might occasionally throw from that, too, is the split-finger fastball.
And it has a lot of heat coming off the corner.
Well, Trey Bollinger, you know, in the first game today, came one time from the side and threw the split finger.
And we'll see what Landestoy has in his bag of tricks from the pitcher's mound. 3-1 high fly ball into shallow right field. Quintana coming in. Drifting back to make the catch, though, is Burgos. That's out one here in the fifth. Everybody stays put. Callahan still down at second and Groom at first. Picotti coming up next, and I don't want to jinx him, but maybe he'll hit for the cycle as far as hits goes because he's been hit twice already today.
Yeah, we talked about earlier, he's in a 14-game hitting streak, but he's been hit twice by pitches today. Kind of reminds you of a guy back a number of years ago in the big leagues by the name of Ron Hunt, who had the record before Don Baylor came along.
And he doesn't stand that close to the plate.
Nope.
He'll send a little liner out into center field. Well, Texas leaguer will fall in for a hit. Station to station baseball. Now the run is going to come home from third. And scoring for South Alabama is Callahan. Great call down there at third to send him on in because Paul came up with the ball lazily wanting to throw it to second. He thought it was just going to be one of those non-eventful singles, but South Alabama says you can't take a minute to fall asleep on us. We'll score.
Nope, and here it is again on the replay, and a good piece of hitting right here. Going to the opposite field. Hawk comes up, as you talked about, just was going to make the easy throw, and then that gave Callahan the opportunity to take the extra base and give the Jags the one-run lead.
2 hits for the Jags here in the fifth inning. 1 out. They lead it now 4-3. 15-game hitting streak intact for Picotti. He is really going to pay a lot of attention to that runner down at second. He'll deliver to the plate this time. Breaking pitch will stay outside, and a good job that time by Corbeil to keep the ball down in front of him.
Stanky, as you saw on the graphic a moment ago, had a hit and 2 tries, single back in the first inning.
Stanky had the RBI single that scored the second run for South Alabama in this game. There's a drive into left center field and get in the gap. That's going to score 2. Coming around from first is going to be Picotti. And South Alabama opens the can here in the fifth with 3. And a big-time double by Stanky.
You couldn't have placed that ball any better than he did in the gap right there, Kyle Stanky did. As we talked about earlier in this ballpark, the gaps are hitter-friendly. If you get one in the gap, you can run a country mile, and that certainly happened on that play as the Jags were able to get 2 across the plate.
3 RBIs on the afternoon for Stanky. We'll take a look at it here, Todd.
Here it is again. Sidearm pitch, inside part of the plate with a fastball, and Stanky hits it in the gap. No chance for Paulk to get to it. And the Jags able to get the 2 runs to build it up to a 6-3 lead.
Jason Gross, the catcher, is due up next as you see Stanky crossing the plate. As the Jags get ready to celebrate, he takes the ball on his first offering from Landestoy here in the fifth inning. Well, it started out as a 2-0 advantage and tied at 2, then 3-2, then tied at 3, and now with 3 here in the fifth. It's a 6-3 advantage for the Jaguars. A 1-1 count now against Jason Gross. 3 RBIs on the afternoon. As we told you for Stanky, he is, of course, well known in this area. His grandfather's name is on this very field. The 1-1 fouled off.
These 2 teams played 3 games this year. One was a 3-run game, one was a 2-run game, one was a 1-run game. So if that tells you anything, this one may go down to the last at bat.
Not going to be boring baseball for this one today. We're glad to have you along with us on College Sports Southeast. Steve McDaniel and Todd Hamilton. And the 1-2 on the way.
Whoa.
And I'll tell you what, Corbeil had to really extend the body to chase that one down.
Tell you what, a hockey announcer would have loved that. Glove save by Corbeil. I mean, that was a great glove save.
Stanky by himself down at second base.
Here it is again. Pitch way out, and a good glove save.
Fouled off to the right. Count stays the same at 2-2. When you saw that ball hit by Stanky, that's one of the dangers of being a sidewinder. That ball can stay up in the strike zone and not have any movement to it, and the batters, it looks like a beach ball coming out.
Exactly.
And they just tee off on it. That's what Stanky did, sending it out there toward the NCAA sign in left center. The 2-2, right up the gap. Let's see if they're going to try to score Stanky. He'll make the turn at third. Here comes a throw from the outfield. A great throw. It's going to be cut off. Now down to second, and he's going to be gunned down for the second out, but that's an RBI. So Gross tried to go to second. It was thrown out. Let's take a look at this one, Todd.
All right. Shot up the middle, and Paulk made a great throw. I was really surprised, Dave, that throw got cut off. But it was an excellent, it ended up turning out good for Florida International as they were able to get the out. Here's Paulk's throw coming in. It's cut off by the first baseman, Puyol. He goes down, and right there, and boom, there's the tag.
Now up and fouling the ball off. First offering is Griffin. That'll make the top of the press box. 0-1.
They'll call that an 8-3-4 put out on Gross at second base.
A lot of hands touching the ball, a lot of bang-bang action here. The 2000 Sun Belt Conference Championship. Big swing comes up empty. 0-2 to Brantley Griffin. Brett Parker on deck for South Alabama, should we get that far here in the fifth. The 0-2, the sidewinder trying to get him the bite on the pitch upstairs. Count 1-2 now. Interesting to watch the tall, lanky youngster for Florida International. It looks like he's just almost like Randy Johnson, just unravels as he comes across with a pitch. Comes at you in stages.
Yeah, it's not anything real fluid. It's just kind of one stage, two stage, three stage, boom. There's a pitch.
The 1-2 pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. Ball gets away from Corbeil, who'll have to gun it down the first into the error there. Going on the second is going to be Griffin, and he'll get in there with slide. So staving off the strikeout and the third out, Griffin turns it into a chance to get down to second base.
A KE2, and Corbeil had a problem finding the pitch. He couldn't find it for just a second, and then by the time he found it, I think he rushed the throw just a little bit. Instead, you know, most of the time you want to make a good throw on that play. We'll look at it again. Pitch is down in the dirt, just got off his glove, and then Corbeil couldn't find it. And by the time he makes the throw, the one hopper, it gets by the first baseman, Puyol, and it allows Griffin to reach second base.
And that's something a coach loves, is the way that Griffin hustled down the line. He didn't trot. He knew he struck out. He wanted to try to get a chance to get there. Parker up next. He'll take a strike, 0-1. 2 outs here in the fifth inning. KE2 on the board as Brantley Griffin sits down at second base for South Alabama with a 7-3 advantage. They'll appeal down to first base. That's a ball, 1-1. Still a good-looking afternoon here in Mobile. The 1-1 pitch on the way. We'll find the corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Parker.
Was an excellent pitch that time. Fastball outside corner.
If Likely should bat in the moment, he will complete the roster as far as the batting order is concerned for South Alabama here in the fifth. Reaching out and missing that one. Coming up empty is Parker, and that will do it for South Alabama. But they will score 3 on 3 hits. An error. 1 left on base. We go to the bottom of the fifth. South Alabama 7, FIU 3. Central weeknights at 6:30 for the latest college sports information. For all the information you want to know about college sports Southeast, pick up the phone and dial 205-425-6935. Florida State coaching staff making their way off, and some fans enjoying the great weather here in Mobile.
Well, we've had a beautiful week for baseball here in Mobile, and even with a rain delay today, it's still turned out to be a delightful afternoon, but unfortunately for Florida International, it's not delightful right now as they find themselves down to South Alabama 7-3.
Well, we saw them get all over Louisiana Lafayette earlier today as the Lafayette pitching staff could not find the strike zone. Sherbinsky up first, and he'll take a ball.
Well, yesterday, you know, when they played Lafayette, it was a very tight ball game, and then before the Cajuns blew it open to get the win.
The 1-0. will stay just inside 2-0, and that loss yesterday for FIU was their first loss in the tournament.
And their first loss in 2 years in conference play. They breezed through the conference tournament last year.
There's a strike just about at the elbows. 2-1. You take a look at Miss Kittrell, the wife of head coach for the South Alabama Jaguars.
She's watched a few baseball games, I'm sure.
Oh, a little short hopper there. Fools Parker. The ball will go out into left field. That will be a hit. Didn't get a glove on it there. So Sherbinski gets off the snide after being gunned down trying to take second on the single back in the third. And he has a single here in the fifth. Get a chance to look at it here. Yeah,
yep.
He was probably expecting a hard bouncer, but just didn't get there.
Yeah, they're going to charge that as an error.
E5, yeah,
E5.
see now. Okay, E5. Back to the top of the batting order with Polk. Watch the speed by Polk down this baseline, and he'll let Picotti tag him out. That may be the easiest play South Alabama's had on him today, besides a strikeout. And that's the second time today that Picotti's got him out. 3 unassisted back in the third.
Well, and, you know, Polk, I know he would like to get on base with that great speed, but, you know, you got to credit South Alabama's defense right there. I mean, Picotti was right there at the right time to make the tag, but in essence, Polk did do his job by getting the runner over at the second base and into scoring position.
Head in his 5th inning of work for South Alabama this afternoon. Right now with only 1 strikeout, but a couple of big double plays defensively behind him have helped him out greatly. There's a chopper as Merritt comes up with it. Long throw. Look at this. Did he get him? Yes, sir. What a play by Merritt. You want to talk about a young man that can range and has a gun. Let's take a look at this again.
Holy Toledo's all I can say to that. What a play by Merritt. Deep in the hole. And here we go, looking at it again. He bobbled it for just a second, makes the bare hand grab and the throw. What a sweet play that was by Tim Merritt.
You cannot ask for a better situation. I mean, you or I, if we're out there, the ball squirts and goes into left field.
You got it.
For Todd Merritt, it's perfect. You saw him barehanded and then just turn the gun loose over to first and get him out by a half a step. Great play, and Miller was hustling down the line as well.
That was an Ozzie Smith type play, let me tell you.
Still down at second is Sherbinski. Corbeil up next. Walked back in the first, scored a run. He has scored twice for FIU with a single back in the 4th to his credit as well. And trying to work out of this 5th inning for South Alabama, not giving anything up. With a 7-3 advantage, you got to feel he's a little more comfortable with this situation rather than having a tie ball game.
Exactly. When you get a little breathing room like that, you just got to pitch your game. Don't do anything cutesy.
And comes with a heat right down the heart of the plate, 0-1.
Notice that Corbeil has kind of rolled up those sleeves a little bit. Kind of reminds me of old Ted Kluszewski.
Trying to create a little space up there near the shoulders.
Yep.
It brings that 0-1 pitch, and he's quickly ahead of the count 0-2 on two straight strikes. Both of them have been right down the heart of the plate, and kind of wonder if Corbeil may be looking for something off speed and outside, maybe.
That's what he hit one of his home runs on in the first game today. Do you see Danny Price looking on?
The 0-2 stays out of the strike zone. 1 ball and 2 strikes to the catcher for FIU.
And that was just a changeup that stayed upstairs. He was going to waste one just to see if Corbeil might go for the downs.
2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. Fouled off. Count stays 1 ball and 2 strikes now. For those of you who might be watching the scoreboard out there and you're saying, well, no, South Alabama's behind 7-3. No. As you heard Gary explained early in the broadcast today, that the home team is FIU. South Alabama is the visitor.
Right.
Just like I said, it's something else just to confuse you today. They always keep you on your toes when it comes to the Sun Belt, though.
But we like that.
That's right. Keeps you guessing. It keeps you always wondering what's happening with this conference. As you heard Commissioner Wright-Waters during our intermediate time talking about the conference expanding, and boy, this baseball conference is just going to do nothing but get better. Chopper towards second. Backhand Callahan over to first. That will take care of a Florida International rally. They got started early here in the 5th. No runs, no hits, 1 error, 1 left on base. We go to the top of the 6th. A nice day. Hope you brought your suntan lotion because it's a scorcher here in Mobile.
Get the sunscreen out today. I'm sure those young ladies came prepared with their sunscreen and enjoying some good baseball here. And particularly if you're a Jaguar fan, you're enjoying things right now with a 7-3 lead. I want to follow your thought up a little bit. You talked about the future of the conference a moment ago. Middle Tennessee has always had great baseball tradition, and they're going to certainly add a lot to the lead. They were leading their game early today in the championship game of the OVC tournament. If they win that, they get the automatic bid from that conference to go into the NCAA, and what a nice addition they will be to the baseball equation next year.
As you take a look at the FIU coaching staff there.
Yeah, Mr. Price has to be a little concerned right now with his ball club down 4 runs.
Talking about Middle Tennessee State, they have been in the OVC since the 50s. They have to see that this conference is expanding and growing, and it's probably one of the hottest conferences in the United States right now. They want to be a part of it.
No doubt about it. As we look at Steve Kittrell, and even with a 7-3 lead, I don't think Steve's quite ready to relax and enjoy this one just yet.
I can't wait for football season either to get a chance to see that blue field at Idaho. That ought to be a lot of fun.
And Coach Kittrell, as you see, picked up his 700th win here a couple of nights ago. And what a great career he's had here, and what a great baseball tradition he's built at South Alabama.
Likely up first for South Alabama, as he'll take a pitch right on the inside part of the plate for the strike. 0-1 to Likely as we get ready to start here in the top of the 6th inning. Next pitch will miss, 1-1 to count. Landestoy in his first full inning of work. Now, he got the win back in the first game against Louisiana Lafayette, coming in and nailing it down. Toward third, quickly over there is Alfonso across the diamond. And that will take care of Likely here in the 6th. 5-3 if you're scoring it at home. Scott Callahan coming up next for the Jags.
I think it'd be kind of nice to see if 2, maybe 3, maybe 4 teams out of this league come out. And then with Middle, if they win their game in the OVC come out, you have 5 teams with Sun Belt ties participating in this year's NCAA.
And that is nothing but strong. Pitch will stay outside for Callahan, 1-0.
Of course, the RPI for the league is 5th best in the country right now.
That you got to feel that's going to go up. Alfonso gobbles up quickly, and already he has 2 assists here in the 6th. So South Alabama down to their last out with Brian Groom due up next. USA trying to nail down another Sun Belt championship, and they've won it for, what, the last 2, 3. This would make their 3rd year if they pull it off. And if they do that, it'll also make the 4th time in the last 5 years they've been a Sun Belt champion. Strike to Groom right off the bat. Saw some of those big numbers on the left field wall, how many regionals this team is, or this school has been to. Another testament to their love of baseball here in Mobile. 0-2 now to Groom.
And this beautiful facility, what they've done with it here at Stanky Field over the last 3 or 4 years.
Chopper has Burgos. Gloves, throws. 3 up, 3 down. No runs, no hits, no errors, no one left on base. We go to the bottom of inning number 6. South Alabama 7. FIU 3. This is College Sports Southeast. Log on to the World Wide Web and get the latest news and information on your favorite college sports team in the Southeast, as well as an open forum for the fans. Talk about all this great tournament action. Where do you find it? www.collegesportscentral.com, the official website of College Sports Southeast.
Well, Michael Quintana will lead off in the 6th inning here for Florida International, and he's the guy that got things started with a home run in the 1st inning today. Got a fastball up and in, and was able to take it back into left field.
Grew him all the way back.
It was out of here.
First pitch to him will be outside for ball 1 here at the bottom of the 6th inning. And really, it's a testament to Quintana to see how much power he had in the upper body to get that ball off the bat like he did.
And that 2-run homer at that time tied the game at 2.
Ball fouled out of play, even the count, and a ball and a strike. We do still have that stiff wind, which probably aided him in that home run. Blowing from right to left. Again, very hot and muggy, and that's what you would expect here on the Gulf Coast of Alabama. The 1-1 pitch. Did he go around? Yeah. 1-2. Todd also hit by a pitch back in the 4th, stranded at 3rd. We'll take a look at it here, Todd.
Yep, good pitch, and could not quite get the bat back.
He'll miss there, will head, so the count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Florida International out of the Miami area, South Alabama. Of course, this is their home field. And you can see the disgust there with that pitch from Head.
Yeah, I think he didn't have good control on that pitch. It just got away from him. He wanted to punch out Quintana, and unfortunately, he couldn't hang on to the ball.
Full count, payoff pitch on the way. High fly ball, everybody scrambling and quickly going back to track it down. It's going to be Merritt. He'll watch it float around and finally in the glove for the first out here in the bottom of the 6th. And that's one of those that it looks really easy from where we sit, but the ball, when you see it come off the top of the bat like that, we talked about the English on the ball. It gets to move around quite a bit as it heads back down toward earth.
And, you know, you've got that wind blowing from right to left, and you've got the white clouds to try to look at the ball as opposed to a blue sky. Blue sky, at least you got a little bit of background, but with the white sky, you've got to really follow it carefully.
Gus Alfonso up next for the Golden Panthers of Florida International. First pitch offered to him will get in the dirt on the outside part of the plate, 1-0. And again, the winner of this one will be crowned champion of the Sun Belt Conference. There's a strike, 1-1. Just a minute, finding the home plate umpire decides to call a strike, and kind of had to catch my breath here for a second. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Alfonso.
I'll tell you what, Gross did a great job to help spot that pitch, too.
Framed it up quite nicely, rather, trying to get the breaking ball to break. Did not do it. Stayed outside, rather went inside on the batter. 2-2. Guys in the truck. And our camera guys doing great work today, bringing you all the pictures from Stanky Field. There's a swing, a strikeout. Goes in the books for Head. I believe that's 2 on the afternoon for him. 2 down.
Second strikeout for Head. Look at this pitch. Change up, perfect.
Caught him looking on the inside. He had to step forward and lost the ball for just a bit, but still couldn't come up with it. Pujol up next. Part of a double play back in the 2nd after he reached on a single, then flied out in the 4th. 2 big double plays turned by this South Alabama Jaguar defense has kept the Panthers at bay. Shot hot toward 3rd, right off the chest of Parker. Parker with a long throw, got him. 5-3, 3 up, 3 down. Gallup's coming up next, take you through the rest of the ball game. It's a 7-3 South Alabama advantage.
Back at Stanky Field, Gary Gallup along with Todd Hamilton, and a great job by Dave McDaniel here. As he left the booth, I'll tell you what, he went in to get a little cool air, I think.
I don't blame him. It's a warm day here in Mobile.
Great day out here, and what a ball game. Boy, these South Alabama Jaguars coming in, battling for a spot in the NC2A postseason tournament. Only missed it once in the 90s, and that was in 1994. They were there every other year, though. So we go to the 7th inning, and here was a fly ball deep, and that one's going to be way back there off the bat. And that one is out of here as Tim Merritt will touch them all. Tim Merritt's 8th home run of the year. That'll give him another RBI. That gives him 3 today. And all of a sudden, there was another run up on the board.
Well, and another extra base hit for Tim Merritt. He's had a bunch of them, as I talked about earlier in this tournament. 2 today, a double, and now a home run here to lead off the 7th inning. And here's a look at it again. Landestroy delivering the pitch. Fastball right down the heart. And Merritt says, see you later.
Tell you what, that was a great pitch to hit, wasn't it?
No, it was.
Right there. So Tony Picotti, who kept his hitting streak alive a moment ago, 15 straight now with that RBI single back in the 5th inning, fouls the first pitch to the right side for strike 1. Picotti is 1 for 1 today, was hit twice, and here was a ground ball. As the second baseman, Burgos can't get to it out into center field for a base hit. And the South Alabama bats just continue to be alive.
I tell you what, that's good for Burgos, 2 for 2 with the 2 hit batsmen, so he gets on base all 4 times that he's been up today.
That's a 10th hit of the afternoon for USA, and here it is again.
Yep, good pitch. Landestoy tried to get over and make a play, got by him too quick, and then the second baseman Burgos couldn't get there. Beautifully placed ball.
Here's Kyle Stanky as he takes it low and away for ball one. Stanky's had himself an afternoon. He's got 2 base hits, a single and a double, and 3 RBIs, and scored a run today. Here is the pitch from Landestoy, a fastball. Just missed with that one for ball 2, so the count goes to 2-0. South Alabama really battling to get that spot, Todd, I'll tell you.
They have been very, very impressive today and very, very impressive throughout this tournament.
Little check swing, and that one's going to go back to Landestoy. He makes a wild throw to second base, and everybody's going to be safe.
Wow. He wanted to turn the double play right there, but the throw wide enough to the first base side of second base. And for South Alabama now, they're getting an opportunity to add a little more. Let's look at it again. I really thought Landestoy on the check swing might take the ball to first base. But instead, he wanted to try to turn the double play, and the throw just got away.
A nice backup by the shortstop, Miller, kept that ball from going on out into center field. So South Alabama has runners at first and second now with nobody out. A run in here in the 7th inning, and we're going to have some action in the bullpen, and we're going to have some action out on the mound.
Mark Silva, the FIU pitching coach, coming to talk. That after Gus Alfonso came over to offer his 2 cents worth. And now Steve Kittrell's going to get his base runners together. And the hitter to be Gross, and they're going to talk a little strategy right here, I'm sure. And I would think with nobody out here, Gary, that Kittrell's going to say, hey, if you can get the ball to the right side, get it in play, move the runners along, or if you can bunt the ball with the potential possibility of moving the runners along. And again, as we've alluded to all day, it's typical Jaguar baseball. But the Jaguars could add a couple more runs here and might pretty much put this thing out of reach, even though they are leading by 5 right now.
Well, I'll tell you what, they got things going their way, and FIU starting to unravel a little bit. Corbeil, of course, had an error a while ago on that strikeout when he threw wide, and now Landestoy throws wide. You know, they had 5 errors in the ballgame yesterday against Louisiana and just kind of unraveled them.
Well, you know, as we talked about, it's been tough to play these 5 games in this amount of time. As you see on your screen, LSU a 1-run winner over Alabama today, and Florida in the bottom of the 4th has an 8-4 advantage on number 1 South Carolina.
And the batter is Jason Gross, the freshman catcher, and he tries to bunt it. This one's going to come right back up here in front of us. We've had our share of balls back here today. We had one right in the glass, right in our face earlier in the first game, and one just to the right.
Up close and personal. A visit.
So strike 1 to Gross. Had an RBI single his last time up, and then was thrown out. Trying to make it to second base. And Landestoy whirls off the mound. The runner at second base is Picotti. Kyle Stanky is a runner at first base. Taking a look at Picotti over at first, and here's the bunt down the third base line. It will be fielded nicely by Alfonso and make the throw over to Burgos. Covering the bag at first base. Sacrifice is successful, and Picotti moves over to third base, and Stanky moves up to second base.
Well, that's perfect South Alabama style baseball. Get the sacrifice down, move the guys along.
Boy, that is it indeed. Brantley Griffin taking a look at those runners on base. That is Picotti that you're looking at. He's over at third base. And we're going to have another trip to the mound, and that may be it for Landestoy here.
Yep, they're making a call to the bullpen right now.
South Alabama has scored a run here in the 7th inning, so we're going to have a new pitcher. And let's see.
Ozzie Lugo.
Well, he was the freshman of the year in the Sun Belt Conference. 17 saves this year. While he comes on, let's take a quick break. We'll be right back. For Florida International is going to be Ozzie Lugo. He is a 6-foot, 200-pound freshman out of Miami, Florida. Coral Gables, and he led the Sun Belt Conference in saves this year with 17. Tied a record, as a matter of fact, and was the freshman of the year, Todd. This kid's going to be a great one.
I tell you what, and you have to look at his walk to strikeout ratios. We saw the numbers a moment ago. 14 walks to 38 strikeouts. All 10 of his runs have been earned this year. He's allowed only 14 hits in 24 and 2/3 innings. He has not given up a home run, and teams are only hitting 167 against him.
So Danny Price going to his ace closer here with Lugo coming on in the 7th inning now. because no need in leaving any arms in the bullpen now.
You can't at this stage of the game, and especially being down like you are. You've got to get some outs and maybe get some momentum turn your direction, and maybe you can get back in this ball game.
Jaguars have runners at second and third base, and one man out after the sacrifice by Jason Gross a moment ago. Of course, Tim Merritt led off the inning with a home run, number 8 on the year. So Griffin, who's just played terrific out in right field defensively in this series, is up at the plate. Here is the pitch. Fastball is up high for Lugo for ball 1. At the plate today, Griffin is 0 for 2 and a walk. Tell you what, he really hustled around, running on the third strike his last time, was safe on the throwing error by Corbeil as the ball was in the dirt, and Corbeil actually couldn't find it. He was hunting for the ball as he was trying to get around Mark Chapman, the home plate umpire, and when he finally located it, he made a wild throw to first base. 2 balls and no strikes. The count to Griffin, and here is a line shot left field. That's going to score 1 run. Picotti will score, and stopping at third base will be Stanky, as the left fielder Huntingford picked it up quickly and threw it back into Alfonso. So 2 runs are in here in the 7th.
And I tell you what, that ball was laced. I mean, you couldn't have placed it out there any better than it was, but that ball was ripped to left field. And as we talked about a moment ago, as we'll look at it again here in a moment, the sacrifice bunt to move the runners over, and the man got up there and did his job, did Brantley Griffin, bringing home 1 run for the Jaguars with that hit.
RBI number 14 for Griffin this year. And the Jags will have runners at the corners now with 1 man out, and the batter is Brett Parker, the third baseman, as Lugo whirls off the mound. Nobody going anywhere, and Lugo hangs on to the ball. There's Parker. Had a sacrifice bunt also, and he's going to try and bunt it down the first baseline. Fouls it to the right side, strike 1. Parker sacrificed his first time, popped it up to the shortstop, and then struck out his last time. 916 fans here on a sunshiny day in Mobile. Just a great day for a baseball game, and right now the hometown is liking what they're seeing. Pitch is in the dirt for a ball. Nice job by Corbeil behind home plate. 1 ball, 1 strike. You got to wonder a little bit of how the heat might be affecting FIU at this point.
I was just going to say, you know, like I said earlier, this is their 5th ball game and the 2nd of the day, and you have to wonder how, you know, as much as they've played over the last couple of days in particular, how it has affected them.
South Alabama has played a picture-perfect tournament.
Yes, they have.
What, up to this point anyway. And here's a fastball. It is up high for a ball, and it goes 2-1.
Wouldn't it be a nice Cinderella story if they could carry themselves a pretty good ways into the NCAA tournament?
Wouldn't it be great?
Mm-hmm.
Boy, you got to wonder now if the Sun Belt might not tease with 4 teams in that tournament field.
That could be very interesting. And as we talked about earlier, of course, the new member, Middle Tennessee, fixing to come into the league, was winning their OVC championship today. You know, so we could have 5 teams with Sun Belt ties and future Sun Belt ties playing in the big dance.
That would be nice to see, as Lugo with a quick look over to first base, and that chases the runner back. That's Brantley Griffin over there. First and third, pitch to the plate. That overhand ball goes down low. Full count now at 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Would they call it the big dance in baseball? Like they do in
Have you
basketball?
ever called it that?
Not in baseball. I have in basketball.
Yeah, right.
Many times. Ooh, good pitch there.
Called a third strike, so that'll be the 2nd out here in the 7th inning. Take a look at it
Well,
again.
I tell you what, Ozzie took a little something off of this pitch. Inside part of the plate, took a little something off of it, and see you later.
An interesting note, no Sun Belt Conference baseball or basketball team with a losing record has ever received the automatic bid into the tournament.
How about that?
Well, that might be changing today.
Yeah.
Tell you what, if it continues like this, there goes the runner to second base, and Corbeil took a look at him and didn't make the throw. So Griffin will get the stolen base.
Of course, one basketball team a year ago tried to make it with a losing record and came up 20 minutes short.
Yeah.
WKU?
Almost. Runners now at second and third base with 2 out. Likely the leadoff batter in there. Here is a ground ball over the third baseman, Alfonso. Boy, he's played a nice game today. He will gun out likely at first base for the third out. And in the inning, South Alabama comes up with 2 runs on 3 base hits, no errors, and 2 men left aboard. Southeast production assistance provided by Craneworks. For all your crane needs, call Craneworks at 205-801-6020. Bottom half of the 7th inning, it'll be Huntingford, Burgos, and Sherbinski. So Florida International will be batting in the bottom third of the order. And right now, they've got a ways to make up, down 9-3 in this ball game. Huntingford hit into a double play and then walked and was on the front end of a double play his second time up, so he's been involved in both South Alabama double plays today. 1 ball, 1 strike to him, the big left-handed hitter playing out in left field. Straightaway stance, the outfield is straight away for him, and the pitch is in there. Strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Daniel Heads has done a great job today, Todd.
Tell you what, after getting off to a bit of a shaky start, after he got staked to a bit of a lead, he has really pitched a fine ball game today.
As we mentioned a little bit earlier, he went the distance against Arkansas Little Rock in that win. And a foul tip back into the glove of the catcher, Jason Gross, the freshman out of Mobile, and there's 1 gone.
That's 7 in a row now retired by Daniel Head, and we'll look at it again. Pitch tailing away and barely got nicked at the plate, and that's strike 3.
Bingo. Head went 9 innings in that 8-0 win. Gave up no runs, only 4 hits, struck out 5 and walked 4. Here's a little popper left field line. That could be trouble as Groom diving for it, can't get to it. And digging for second base. And in there with a stand-up double goes Tino Burgos.
Burgos held up for just a second, rallying the bag at first, as he thought for maybe just a split second Groom was going to get to it. He couldn't make the play, and Danny Price has to be pleased that his team maybe getting a little rally going with 1 out here in the 7th.
That'll be the 4th double this year for Burgos, who is aboard at second base with 1 out. They're in the bottom half of the 7th inning, and Todd Sherbinski will make his way to the plate. Todd is 1 for 2 today, been on base both times, single to right, and was safe on an error by the third sacker Parker his last time. Batting in the number 9 spot. He is a sophomore out of Coral Springs, Florida. Head okays the sign from his catcher, Gross, and here is the pitch to Sherbinski. This is for ball 1. Sherbinski, a good hitter at 351, hitting in the number 9 hole in the lineup.
Yeah, you have to wonder why with that kind of a number that he'd be way down there.
You like to have that there.
Oh, yeah. Especially when you got a guy like Paulk coming up next.
Absolutely. Here's the pitch. And it's fouled back to the right side. That's going to make the grandstand. Almost caught it on the first hop over there. The catcher, Gross, chasing after it. Really didn't have any chance, though, as well up into the seats. It's going to be a fine backstopper, too, for South Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
Kid's only a freshman. 1 ball, 1 strike to Sherbinski. His team is down by 6, 9-3. Breaking ball. Hit Merritt at shortstop. He'll hold the runner. There's a throw. And that's going to get Sherbinski. I tell you what, Merritt has got an arm. He's got a cannon out there, doesn't he?
Wow, he is so fun to watch. A delight. And he's just a sophomore, Gary. They've got him for a couple of more years here, unless some pro team decides to whisk him away after his junior year. Kid's got great potential to have a wonderful career. Whether it's here or both.
Last year.
Yep.
So they go back to the top of the order now, where Barry Paulk, who has been pretty quiet in this ball game. And here is a chopper out to Merritt. Backs up a little bit. That's almost automatic, huh? There's the throw, and that's it. So in the 7th for FIU, they have no runs on one base hit. There are no errors, and one man is left aboard. We have completed 7. It's 9-3. Through the top half of the 8th inning, 9-11-1, 3-6-2 for FIU, and the Golden Panthers are down by 6. A look at the South Alabama guys in the dugout, and they're pretty loose right now.
Oh, you take an approach to this game, well, hey, we had nothing to lose. And, they just played very relaxed. They've played very confident today. They've got some key hits when they've had to. They've taken the ball out of the yard a time or two. So, well-played game thus far by the Jaguars.
And they've played this way the entire tournament, Todd. I'll tell you what, breezed right through the bracket. Haven't lost a ball game. And right now in great shape, 9-3 over FIU here in the championship game. And here is the first pitch, a little looping line drive out into left field, but the left fielder, Huntingford, is going to be able to hunt that one down. And Callahan will become the first out here in the top half of the 8th inning. So 1 up and 1 down as Lugo, the freshman pitcher, makes his way back up on the hill. Going to bring up Brian Groom. Groom with 2 singles today. He has scored a couple of times, walked, grounded out. 1 out, nobody on as he loops it out into center field. Barry Polk will move in and make that grab for out number 2. So a quick inning going right now for Lugo as the first 2 Jag batters go down on outfield flyouts.
Maybe everybody's getting tired.
I bet you Florida International is.
I guarantee you.
Tell you what, that heat will take a toll on you. 2 out, nobody on. Wow. Lugo uncorks one that came all the way to the screen on the fly.
Can you say Bull Durham? Brother Newt Lelouch hitting the bull.
Tim Merritt, who knocked it out of the ballpark his last time up. I guess Lugo just wants to keep him loose up there.
Or kind of like Randy Johnson did John Cook a few years ago.
Yeah. Oh, man. 1 ball, 1 strike. And Merritt's going to oblige him by knocking it back through the box out into center field for a base hit. And that'll be his 3rd hit of the afternoon.
Well, Gary, he's got 3/4 of the cycle. And, they say the toughest part of the cycle to get is the triple. We'll look at it again. Lugo, fastball down and in, and a good piece of hitting right there by Merritt to slap it back up the middle. But they did a study on this, mathematical study, which proves that the triple is the hardest part of the cycle to get.
Well, I believe that. When you look at the stats of the guys, there goes Merritt, and he slides in there with a stolen base. So Merritt with stolen base number 19 on the year, and that gives him the lead.
Here we go again looking at it. Merritt got a pretty good jump, and he made sure that he was going to get there and got there with ease.
Tell you what, in the ball game last night, Todd, the South Alabama runners really had Roy Shanks, the privateer pitcher, measured because they just ran wild on the base pass. And Shanks is a left-hander, but he I don't know, he was doing something out there, but South Alabama was just running like crazy on the base pass.
Well, I'll tell you what, Merritt did a pretty good piece right there. He was gone before Lugo even got set in his motion.
This is Tony Picotti at the plate. He's got 2 singles in his last 2 trips to the plate, has an RBI, has scored a run, and was hit by the pitch the first 2 times. He's got a 15-game hitting streak intact. Lugo shakes off one, and now he says, okay, I like that one. And here's the pitch, up high. So it's 3 balls and 1 strike, and Lugo, after getting the first 2 outs on just a couple of pitches, now has a runner at second base and a count of 3 balls and 1 strike to Tony Picotti, the first baseman for South Alabama. There's a big breaking ball. Boy, that thing really drops down, didn't it? Right in there.
That was a beautiful pitch.
Full count at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Freshman shakes off one. Now he says, yep. And here we go. Same pitch, but this one didn't come down enough. It's up high, ball 4, and he walked him.
Well, Picotti's been on base all 5 times. He's made a trip today.
That's the first walk given up by Lugo since he came on last inning. He is the 3rd pitcher to be used by the Golden Panthers this afternoon. So runners at first and second after 2 men are gone. And Kyle Stanky is the batter. Good look at Lugo on the mound, pitching out of the stretch, and here is the pitch to Stanky. Fastball low and away, ball one. So all of a sudden having a little bit of problem finding the strike zone.
Yeah, he was pitching really well there in a nice groove, but after Merritt got the hit a moment ago and stole second, he's been a bit rattled.
Stanky's got a couple of hits today, a couple of RBIs, 3 RBIs for that matter, and scored a run. Takes a strike, 1-1.
Grandpa would have liked to have, well, he did have quite a few of those days in the major leagues. Former second baseman.
Stanky out of DeSoto, Texas, grandson of the great Eddie Stanky. Lugo comes in and misses outside. Ball 2, 2-1.
And when he came to manage the Texas Rangers, managed one game, said he had enough.
So 2-1. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. That'll even it up at 2-2. Jason Gross is the on-deck batter. Is a good look at Kyle Stanky adjusting those sleeves a little bit. He's ready to go now and says, give me one I can hit. On the way. Outside, full count, 3-2.
It was a good pitch. Just missed outside.
So after breezing along here, Lugo in danger of loading the bases if he walks him. There it is. Swing and a miss on a ball on the outside part of the plate. Nice pitch, actually, by Lugo that time, and he gets the strikeout. So in the inning for South Alabama, they had no runs on one base hit. There were no errors, and 2 men are left on board. College Sports Central on College Sports Southeast every weeknight at 6:30 for the latest college sports news and information. College Sports Southeast is your source for college baseball. For more information about College Sports Southeast availability, call 205-425-6935 or log on to your website at www.collegesportscentral.com. Everybody in the stands enjoying this one, or at least for the most part today. They got the signs out, fanning themselves a little bit on a hot day. That's a good purpose for those signs, too.
Great purpose for the signs. Yeah.
All right, we go to the bottom of the 8th inning, and the first pitch is fouled down the third base line by Eric Miller for strike 1. Miller is 0 for 3 this afternoon. So looking for a base hit. Does a great job at shortstop for the Golden Panthers also. His team is down 9-3. Here's a line shot up the middle out into center field. So Miller with his first base hit of the afternoon. And that's the 7th base hit of the day for the Golden Panthers.
Makes him 3 for 8 in the doubleheader today after going 2 for 4 in the win earlier against Louisiana.
FIU running out of innings here. Bottom half of the 8th inning and down 9-3. Put the leadoff batter aboard, though. That'll bring up Al Corbeil, and Corbeil has had himself a series. Scored 2 runs today, has a single in 2 official trips and a walk. Had 2 home runs in the first ball game against Louisiana Lafayette. One right over the center field fence, and then had a 2-run homer over the left field wall. He'll go to the left side. Well, he doesn't pull the ball very much, really.
No.
Left-handed batter.
But if he gets a pitch he likes on that outside part of the plate, he tends to take it to that opposite field. We saw that with the home run earlier and the base hit that he had back in the 4th inning.
There's a 1-1 pitch. That worked him with a fastball on the inside part of the plate. Just missed. Strike or ball 2, and it's 2-1.
And you got to give Daniel Head some credit, too. He has pitched very carefully to Corbeil during the course of this game.
Really has. And there's a pitch on the outside part of the plate as we were speaking, Todd, and he ripped it to left field. And moving over to third base goes Miller as the throw comes in. So Pugh, who is out in left field, Dwayne Pugh had gone in as a defensive change for Groom in left, fielding that ball. And Corbeil is at first base, and Miller over to third, so runners at the corners.
Slider out and away, and it was a good piece of hitting by Corbeil out there in that part of the zone where he likes to get that pitch and drive it to the opposite field.
And there you see him at first base, adjusting his hat. Fine ball player. Player of the year in the league. So runners at the corners. Nobody out here in the bottom half of the 8th inning. FIU trying to get something going. Here is a line shot, center field. That ball is going to be run down and caught by Likely. That'll score the run. Sacrifice fly as Miller will score. And that'll make it a 9-4 ball game. Well, he hit it hard, and it will result in an RBI for Michael Quintana. That'll give him another one on the year. Sacrifice fly. So for Quintana, RBI number 17 this year. We'll bring up Gus Alfonso, a good glove man at third base.
Tell you what, he has played a nice defensive game today. Has made a couple of 3 gems at third base.
Got a single and a stolen base. Here's a shot to Merritt, and Tim doesn't come up with this one. And everybody is going to be safe.
Pretty hard hit ball that time to Merritt.
Charge him with an error on the play. So Corbeil is safe at second, and Alfonso is safe at first on the error. That's the second error of the afternoon against the Jags. Raul Pujol, the first sacker, into the box, a junior out of Miami. Started the day hitting .299, just under the 300 mark. Couple of home runs, 32 RBIs. He's got a single in 3 trips. Also has an RBI today on a sacrifice fly. So FIU has scored one here in the 8th and have runners at first and second with 1 out. Here's a chopper out towards the second baseman. Callahan flips to Merritt for 1. Throw to first.
Oh.
Third double play of the afternoon.
Oh, they made that one look easy, too.
So another double play, and they're out of the inning. 1 run on 2 hits in the inning. 9-4, top of the 9th inning, and it'll be Jason Gross to lead things off for the Jags here in the 9th inning. 9 runs, 12 hits, 2 errors, and 9 left right now, and they own a 9-4 lead in the ball game. And here is a strike from Ozzie Lugo. So 1-1. Gross this afternoon has a hit and an RBI. As Lugo comes in with a fastball at the knees for strike 2. And the count 1-2. Ozzie Lugo, the freshman of the year in the Sun Belt Conference, 9-4. South Alabama by 5. And here is a pop foul ball. Third base side. Third sacker over there, Alfonso, will make the catch in foul territory for out number 1. So 1 up and 1 down here in the top half of the 9th inning, and that's going to bring up Brentley Griffin. Nice job by the third sacker.
He's been making plays like that all day.
Really has. He's had a good tournament. So 1 man is gone here in the top half of the 9th inning. Griffin steps up to the plate. He's got a hit this afternoon, an RBI. He was the first batter to face Lugo back in the 7th. Lugo misses for ball 1. And the 1-0 pitch on the way to the plate. And there's a fastball right in there for a strike. And that will even the count. 1 ball, 1 strike. Brett Parker is the on-deck batter for the Jaguars here in the 9th. And Lugo right in there again with another fastball, strike 2. So 1-2 for the freshman right-hander for Florida International. Griffin batting, of course, from the right side. Open stance. Outfield is straight away, medium deep for him. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. That one had some mustard on it, but it was in the dirt and Corbeil couldn't come up with it as it comes all the way back, so it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 pitch, breaking ball, and he got a piece of it to stay alive and fouled it back to the screen. So Griffin having a look down third base is okay. 2-2, battling up there at the plate, and here's a 2-2 pitch. Here's a ground ball. Alfonso at third gobbles it up, throws it to the inside of the bag, and first baseman Pujol had his glove knocked off, and the ball went flying out of there. As going down the line was Griffin, and so he's going to be safe.
Well, Griffin again showing you that great hustle like we saw earlier when he had that strikeout going to second. I mean, he was digging hard down the line, and Pujol tried to make the sweep tag, and Griffin just getting enough body into it to knock it out of his glove.
Going to charge an error on the throw to the third baseman, Alfonso, on the play. So Griffin is safe at first base on the error. That's the third error this afternoon by the Jaguars. Committed 5 yesterday against Louisiana. There goes the runner. Corbeil has no chance. Stolen base for Brantley Griffin.
You know, if the Jaguars win here today against Florida International, it'll mark their first win against FIU in tournament play. They are 0-1 against the Golden Panthers.
19th stolen base on the year for Griffin. So the Jags just continue to run out there on the base paths, do a great job. A runner in scoring position now. 1 out, 1 on here in the top of the 9th inning. And a fastball on the outside corner to Parker for a strike. Parker is 0 for 3 and a sacrifice this afternoon. Right-handed hitter. Lugo out of the stretch, and here is the pitch to the plate. This breaking ball misses up high for 2 balls, and it's 2-1. 2-1 pitch. This one a fastball down low, and it's 3-1. So South Alabama not satisfied. They want to get some more here in the ninth.
Just want to accentuate the positive that they've had here in this tournament.
Tell you what, they have had a great tournament. Outstanding. Pitch. Strike. Full count. So it's a full count to the batter, Brett Parker, hitting in the number 9 hole in the lineup. Hitting .214, has a couple of home runs this year and 20 RBIs. Here's a pitch to him, and he hits a fly ball right field. Quintana is moving over. He's got plenty of room, makes the grab. Here's the tag. Here comes the throw to third base. Safe. So Griffin moving over to third after the catch. And now we have 2 gone.
Tell you what, I love this lad's hustle.
Yeah.
I just love the way he just hustles. Quintana makes a pretty good throw, but Griffin, with a nice head-first slide, gets in just ahead of Gus Alfonso's tag.
Really does hustle hard. I'll tell you what, he, of course, beat out after the strikeout when Corbeil couldn't find the ball early, and that was in the 5th inning. And we'll go back to the top of the order now, where Cameron Likely is at the plate. Takes ball 1. Likely on the day singled his first time up and then has been hitless in his last 4 tries. Had a stolen base and has scored a run in the ball game, though. There's a pitch from Lugo, down low. So it goes 2 balls and no strikes. There's a good look at Likely, looking down right into our camera. 2-0 pitch, fastball, backed him out of there, ball 3. So it's 3-0.
And again, our camera guys have done a great job today, getting us some great shots on some of the fine plays that have been made in the field.
Absolutely. Been a fun day here at the ballpark. Here's a 3-0 pitch, and Likely rips it left field. That's a base hit. That's going to score the run. So Griffin will come across home plate with run number 10 of the afternoon. And an RBI single for Cameron Likely. He's got 28 RBIs on the year now.
Makes him 2 for 6 in this ball game. Here's Lugo delivering inside and Likely getting a good piece of the bat on the ball and slapping it into the outfield for the hit.
So that sends up Scott Callahan, the second sacker, a runner at first base with 2 men gone here in the 9th inning. And Likely is likely to run.
No pun intended.
No. See what he does out there. Has a stolen base this afternoon. So he's got 19. He's going to try and make it 20 to take that lead in stolen bases. Maybe.
I think if he decides he wants to, he'll take off and go.
Pitch to Callahan was low and away for ball 1.
He may just want to take it easy.
He might.
But gosh, he reminds you so much of Lance Johnson and Alan Battle and Tyrone Dixon and some of the other great center fielders that Steve Kittrell's had here over the years.
10 runs, 13 hits this afternoon for the Jags. As Lugo misses inside again for ball 2, so the count goes to 2 balls and no strikes to Callahan. Likely inching his way over there at first base as we take a look at the batter. Here's the pitch. The ball driven out into right center field. Center fielder is moving over to his left and will make the catch as Polk is able to chase it down. So in the inning, South Alabama does come up with another run on 1 hit, 1 error, and 1 left. With the 4, go to the bottom half of the 9th inning, and this will be it for the Golden Panthers from Florida International University. Came in with 40 wins. Today, 17 losses, and South Alabama trying to pick up their 27th win of the year, and Daniel Head trying to keep them from doing it. And the first pitch is a check swing foul ball to Huntingford, the left fielder. Strike 1.
After a shaky start, Gary, Daniel Head has pitched a terrific ball game today for South Alabama.
Scattered 8 hits this afternoon. And here is a shot out to the second baseman, Callahan. As Picotti went over to try and field the ball. Nice coverage by Head, who goes over to cover the bag. And you got a 4-1 out right there. Tell you what, everybody getting a little excited right now.
Yeah.
2 outs away.
Yeah, Picotti thinking, oh, I got a chance to make this play. And I saw Daniel Head start to sprint over and I thought, he better get there right now, and he did.
Good job by Head, seeing his first baseman break over towards the second base side for that ball and got over to cover the bag. Burgos is the batter. 0 for 2 and a double today. He doubled his last time up, so 1 for 3. And he fouls this one back out of play. Strike 1.
Gary, I'm watching that South Alabama dugout. I know Steve Kittrell's sitting out in the front. I think there's a little movement back there in the back to do the little a little cooling off type thing on this warm day.
I don't think that would be appropriate on this day.
We nabbed you guys.
If they don't have a TV set down in the dugout.
No. Great work over in that first base camera box. Yeah, there's the cooler.
1 ball, 1 strike. Here is the pitch. And a fly ball, center field. Likely drifting to his right. Lots of room, makes the grab. Out number 2.
Well, wonder if that cooler will move a little closer now. Yep.
Well, the lid's off.
The lid's off.
Yep.
Oh, Kittrell doesn't know what's about to hit him. He has no clue.
I'll tell you what, he's going to love it.
I guarantee you.
He is going to love it. 2 outs here in the bottom half of the 9th inning, and South Alabama 1 out away from winning the Sun Belt Conference Tournament.
I noticed down there they got 2 of them sitting down there close by playing.
And you can hear the fans. Oh, here they come, boy.
Here comes one.
Coming up on the top step.
Oh, they're creeping up there on him.
Here's a fastball to Sherbinsky, the batter, up high for ball 1. Todd's been on base twice today. Had a hit, was safe on an error, and then grounded out his last time up in the 7th. Strike 1. And they're 2 strikes away now.
Boy, they're really camouflaging them coolers.
1-1 pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. Strike 2.
Oh, they've got them anchored in position now if this is a 3rd strike.
I'm telling you.
Oh, Steve, you better watch it down there. Oh, the guy's paper's away from him. He must know it's fixing to happen. There it is.
There it is. The ball game is over. Look at the coach. Oh, he feels cool.
Well, now he's going to run out and join the pile.
Yep.
He gets a 9 for acrobatic efforts to jump on top.
A 3-up, 3-down inning in the bottom half of the 9th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. South Alabama is the Sun Belt Conference champion. They have defeated Florida International by a score of 10-4 this afternoon, and the celebration is on.
Steve Kittrell enjoying it. I know his players are enjoying it. And I tell you, what a tremendous season for South Alabama. This is a team that struggled throughout the course of the year. But, boy, they put some great baseball together at the right time. And they have the Sun Belt automatic berth into the NCAA tournament. As you see Coach Kittrell and Coach Price visiting a little bit around the plate. And you got to tip your cap to Florida International. They played a great ball game just to get here. in the first game today with the win over Lafayette.
Boy, they really did. And South Alabama will go into the NCAA tournament as the automatic bid as they set up the trophies out there. Coach Kittrell out there still enjoying the moment, which he should. And congratulations to him and the South Alabama Jaguars. We'd like to say thanks to the entire staff of the Sun Belt Conference, Wright Waters and his crew, Kevin DeRamus and Tom Burnett and Kevin Warner here at the site. Matt Smith has done a great job to help us out up here from South Alabama. And boy, it's just been a pleasure. I've enjoyed working with you today. Look at that trophy.
Oh, isn't that a beautiful trophy? It says University of South Alabama, as you can see it on our screen. And hey, well, it's been a lot of fun today. We've had a great time with this ball game, and I tell you what, I know Coach Steve Kittrell is very, very happy down there on that field.
Absolutely. The two teams shaking hands right now. We're going to break away for just a moment, so we will be back to talk with the coach in a minute, but South Alabama wins it 10-4 over FIU for the championship. South Alabama wins it by a score of 10-4 for the Sun Belt Conference Championship. Gary Gallup along with Todd Hamilton. We got Coach Steve Kittrell down there, and Coach, it's been a tough year for you and for the Jags, but it's all worthwhile today, isn't it?
It sure is. I'm so proud of these guys and the job they did here at the tournament. They knew their backs to the wall, and they had to do it. And we've been playing good baseball for the last 15 or 16 ball games, and I'm really proud of this ball club. And also Florida International certainly deserves a bid. 40 wins over Miami, Florida Atlantic, swept, beat Lafayette 2 out of 3. Just a great year, 40 and whatever. Danny Price had a tremendous season, and their club deserves a bid, and I hope they get one.
Daniel Head did a great job for you again today. He goes 9 innings. He gave you 9 innings against Arkansas Little Rock in a complete game win, too. What a job he's done.
He is just a bulldog. He has a rubber band arm and loves to compete, and he's got that game experience, that championship game experience, and he did the job, and I tell you what, we're going to miss him.
Congratulations to you. You got your 700th win the other night, and but boy, how sweet it is for the Jags.
702 is the best. 702 is the best. They did a tremendous job. I'm so proud of the coaching staff and the team, and the hitters clutched up. It was just a big game for us. And South Alabama's going to go to a regional with a losing record, but we've been to a lot of regionals. Very few teams have been to many regionals as we have, and we're going to go, and we're playing hot. If somebody draws us as a 4 seed, they better watch out.
Steve, your team played the typical type of Kittrell baseball today. You got the bunch down, you got the base hits when you needed to, and boy, Tim Merritt is really a nice player for you.
He sure is. He's a great player, but I won't call it Kittrell ball. I'll call it Eddie Stanky ball. That's where we learned our baseball from, and we still play it. We got 12 on the cap. We're going to have it forever here. He laid a great foundation for our program.
Congratulations, Coach. I know you're excited, and like you said, watch out for the Jags because your team is hot going into the tournament now.
Thank you very much.
Coach Steve Kittrell here at South Alabama as his team wins it 10-4. 10 runs, 13 hits, 2 errors, and left 10. 4 runs, 8 hits, 3 errors, and 4 left for South Alabama this afternoon. We've enjoyed bringing you this ball game. Hope you've enjoyed it. Gary Gallup along with Todd Hamilton here at Stanky Field in Mobile, Alabama. Reminding you of the final score today. South Alabama is the Sun Belt Conference champion over Florida International by a score of 10-4 as you watch the Jags celebrate the championship. We'll be saying so long from Mobile.